Okay, Israel. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hope everybody's doing well. We're a little late today, but we're gonna push it and see what happens. Shout out to the Truth family, Cabo Cobb in Guatemala, the brothers and sisters that he teaches out there from Cali to Georgia. Shalom, everybody. Hope everybody's doing twat. Stream of Wisdom, Kazak in Virginia, Shalom. Quatazop in Houston, Shalom. Zion in Rochester, New York, Shalom. Hope everybody's doing well today. And just everybody who's just listening in general, hope everybody's doing well today. We're going to get going on our Shabbat class. We're going to get our prayers up first and then go into our topic. Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
How Nothing to know. Award. Zayawam. The
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the light this day. Thank you, so be it.
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Nothing to know. Rayach. The water.
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us sweet savor. Thank you, so be it.
Imagine what Panya, Yerushalayim.
Stand and face Jerusalem.
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Birthday, how about Shem Yahshai?
Nothing to know. Shabbat. Shalom. The water.
Amen. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it.
Okay. Psalms 121. Anasha, Ayanyamya, Hahoya, Ma'aya, Yabu'a, Isaiah, Yabu'a, Ma, Yahweh, Sha'isha, Shemaiah, Wa'arataza, La'ab, Yonathan, Lamawat, Regalia, Yala'ab, Nawam, Shashamaya, Hana, Yala'ab, Nawam, Wala'ab, Son, Shashawamar, Yashua, Yahweh, Shemaiah, Yahweh, Tizalia, Al, Yayamya, Hashemash, Yala'ab, Hakayab, Bayawam, Wala'ab, Halabana, Balayalab, Yahweh, Yashemaiah, Makol, Ray, Yashmar, Napasha, Yahweh, Yashmar, Hawalakia, Wabu'aya, I will love.
Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up mine eyes until the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Yashala shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Lord's Prayer. I'm sorry. Credo. Shema Yahshua, Yahweh, Eloheinu, Yahweh, Echad. Shema Yahshua, Yahweh, Eloheinu, Yahweh, Echad. Shema Yahshua, Yahweh, Eloheinu, Yahweh, Echad.
Lord's credo, the Israelite credo in English. Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our power is one Lord.
Lord's Prayer. Abanoah, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodesh, Hayah, Shemka, Yahweh, Barak Muthka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Barak, Hayah, Bashemayim, Netanah, Lechom, Kol, Yawam, Wasalechna, Kalwathina, Kasalechna, Kalwathina, Wala'ah, Fabiano, Benisai 1, Abo, Hawashana, Mayan, Ray, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wahatapa, La'ay Amen.
Amen. Lord's Prayer in English. Matthew chapter 6 verse 9. After this manner, therefore, pray ye. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ten Commandments. La'ayahaya, laka, alahaya, achaya, aya, hanya.
Thou shalt have no other powers before me.
Number 2. La'a, ta'ina, laka, pasal, wala'a, ta'ibada.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, nor serve them.
Number 3. La'a, thalak sham, Yahweh, Bashawa.
Thou shalt not take unto thee the name of the Lord thy power in vain.
Number 4. Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabah, La Kodashwa.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Number 5. Kabad, Abaka, Ya'amaka.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Number 6. La'a, Tharataza.
Thou shalt not kill, murder.
Number 7. La'a, Thana'a.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Number 8. La'a, Thagana.
Thou shalt not steal.
Number 9. La'a, Tha'ina, Shakur.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Number 10. La'a, Thakhamad, Ko, Asherah, La'aika.
Thou shalt not covet anything which is thy neighbor's.
Barak Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the law.
Israel Yeshabim.
Everybody seated?
All right. We're going to continue on in the topic that we had taught last week, dealing with how the Most High had worked through Cyrus. It was prophesied that Cyrus was going to be inspired to give Israel an opportunity to rebuild their temple after that 70-year prophecy that Jeremiah had dropped had come to fruition. We had served our time. Now it was time for our nation to come back and rebuild our temple. And the Most High is right now. The Most High is really starting to use the nations to further and giving our people an opportunity to get reestablished and get back into our position of authority. Okay, so where we left off last, we read Ezra chapter 1. We're going to recap Ezra 1, but in reading First Ezra chapter 2, because First Ezra chapter 2 is saying the same thing that Ezra 1 is talking about. So we want to recap that and then go into Josephus about the letters and the writing that King Cyrus had written to all the 127 provinces that were scattered throughout the territory that the Persians controlled. Okay? So, let's get First Ezra chapter 2, verse 1. Karai, let's get you saluted in.
Kariah, Shah Shabbatah, Bana Shah, Bana Shahala.
Kariah, Shah Shabbatah, Bana Shah, Bana Shahala. Imagine, bro. Yahweh B'Hashem Yasharakatah.
Yahweh B'Hashem Yasharakatah.
Yasharakatah. Okay, so let's get this First Ezra chapter 1. I'm sorry, 2 verse 1. Wait. I'm in second Ezra. That's why I messed up. Okay. Yep. Chapter 2, verse 1. We're going to read to verse 15.
First Ezra, chapter 2, and verse 1. In the first year of Cyrus, king of the Persians, that the word of the Lord might be accomplished, that he had promised by the mouth of Jeremy. Jeremy
is Jeremiah. A lot of the writing in the book, in the Apocrypha, is written in Greek, so it's being translated from that position. Let's continue.
The Most High raised up the spirit of Cyrus, the king of the Persians, and he made proclamation through all his kingdom, and also by writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of the Persians, the Lord of Israel, the Most High, Lord, had made me king of the whole world, and commanded me to build him an house at Jerusalem, in Judah.
In Jerusalem. Read on.
If therefore there be any of you that are of his people, let the Most High, even his Lord, be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, that is in Judea, and build the house of the Most High of Israel. For he is the Lord that dwelleth in Jerusalem.
What this verse is letting you know also is by the time we got to the end of the 70 years of the Babylonian captivity. Quick question. Do you think we just stayed in Babylon during the captivity? What you're reading is how they established captivities isn't necessarily how we would think. It wasn't like it was hard bondage in Babylon. Individuals were able to sit back and build their businesses, their families. Even Jeremiah gave us the order in Jeremiah to go ahead and build your roots in Babylon until that 70 years is over. Point is, we didn't just stay in Babylon. Think about this. Think about the story of Esther, right? How did Jews get all the way to damn Persia? How did the Jews get all the way to the Shushan Palace in the capital city of Susa? We're going to sit back and just show this image real quick. We were in that brown area, that Neo-Babylonian area. How did we get to Susa and all the way down further in Persia? We kept migrating eastward. We were migrating all around the world by this time. We were already in Egypt. We know that. We were migrating in Egypt. We were already in Babylon, and we were also moving towards Persia and the Median Empire. Okay? So this letter and this proclamation that King Cyrus is dropping is to all the Jews that are all throughout these lands and these countries. We were already scattered everywhere already. Okay? It wasn't just Babylon the Lord was saying that we had to sit back here and come from. Because we were all, I'm talking about just Judah and Benjamin was already scattered around. We know the 9.5 tribes. They had been gone. They were in this area and working their way westward through Greece, through Rome, all the way getting to Britannica, which is Britain, the old Britain.
So can I ask this question then?
Yep.
Because we always harp on Hebrews in Europe.
Yep.
And what certain European tribes were really Israelite tribes, right?
Yep.
So you're saying before, now I was under the impression that was after the collapse of the Byzantine Empire, or the Roman Empire. We fled out of Rome. But so you say we were in Europe before.
We were leaving. We had left. We had left Rome. I mean, we had left when the Assyrians took us out of our land in approximately 722 BC. We were around Nineveh, which is part of the Neo-Babylonian Empire. But we kept moving our way north and northwest. After that, when you sit back here, you chronicle. If I'm not mistaken, it was the Ecbatanian people of Media. They mention in their chronicles about wars that were happening to a group of people that left the Assyrian captivity and went northward and then went westward. Okay? A lot of unknown peoples started making their way west, and they started grafting their names after the territories they lived in. There's history about us moving the 9.5 people moving to Lydia, which is present day Turkey, and then moving their way from Turkey through Greece, working their way north. Other people going through the Caucasus, going up north. Those people end up becoming Nordic and Viking tribes. Anyway, don't want to take it too far away from that. But that was in 722 BC. We were already, 9.5 tribes were already on that way, that direction. Judah and Benjamin, the majority of them in this 70-year period of time was in this area that Cyrus had control over. Now, I want you guys to think about the sheer numbers and volume of Judah and Benjamin at that time. Doesn't the scripture say that the Jews were like the sand of the sea? Right? That was a prophecy of us anyway. So how many people, I can't even give an estimation, but our numbers had to be in the millions. Even if it's a million. I want y'all to keep that in mind. With the two tribes, we already had large numbers that were scattered everywhere. And this was an open invitation by Cyrus to have everybody go back to their lands, not just Jerusalem the city, but to their ancestral farmland, to their ancestral homes, to their ancestral possessions. Right? So, let's continue in 1 Ezra chapter 2. Verse 5.
First Ezra chapter 2 and verse 5. If therefore be any of you that are of his people, let the Most High, even his Lord, be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem that is in Judea, and build the house of the Most High of Israel. For he is the Lord that dwelleth in Jerusalem. Whosoever then dwell in the places about, let them help him. Those, I say, that are his neighbors, with gold and with silver.
So pretty much this message is to the provincial, the leaders of the provinces, and the letter is to the people, the neighbors of these Jews. The neighbors, the people, the neighbors, somewhat fellow Israelites that choose not to leave. Neighbors, everybody who can pool their resources, pool them so we can collect the necessary funds to get their temple erected. Okay, read on.
Verse 7. With gifts, with horses, and with cattle, and other things, which have been set forth by vow.
Set up a vow and send whatever you need, cattle, horses, beasts of burden, so you can transport these items from point A to point B to get these people back to their country. Read on.
For the temple of the Lord at Jerusalem. Then the chief of the families of Judea and of the tribe of Benjamin stood up, the priests also, and the Levites, and all they whose mind the Lord had moved to go up, and to build an house for the Lord at Jerusalem.
So you have Judah, Benjamin, the Levites, and everybody that were Israelites that had the mind to sit back here and take it further, to go back to their homeland and rebuild. Read on.
Verse 9. And they that dwelt round about them, and helped them in all things, with silver and gold, with horses and cattle, and with very many free gifts of a great number, whose minds were stirred up thereto.
Very similar to the Egyptians. Now they gave those gifts, and they were supposed to be borrowed. We know they were taken permanently.
Yep.
But we had gifts leaving into the wilderness, and now we're being given gifts leading back into our land. Okay, read on.
Verse 10. King Cyrus also brought forth the holy vessels, which Nebuchadnezzar had carried away from Jerusalem, and had set up in his temple of idols.
Mm-hmm.
Now when Cyrus, king of the Persians, had brought them forth, he delivered them to
Mithridates,
his treasure.
Yeah, Mithridates. Now the scriptures, his name is Mithridath, but it's the same thing. Like I said, this Mithridates is more of a Greek name for Mithridath. Okay, so Mithridath was in charge of dispersing these holy items to the Jew that they felt was most responsible. Okay, read on.
And by him they were delivered to Sennabassar, the governor of Judea.
Now we explained last week that Sennabassar, his name was Sheshbazzar. Okay, and we also explained that different scholars might think that Sheshbazzar was Zerubbabel, or that Sheshbazzar was uncle to Zerubbabel. One way or the other, they both were from the line of David. And we proved that by going to 1 Chronicles chapter 3, that they were from the line of David, of the princely family, and they were given the responsibility of making sure that those holy items were put in its proper place and not used improperly. Okay, read on.
Verse 13. And this was the number of them, 1,000 golden cups, and 1,000 of silver, censers of silver, 29, vials of gold, 30, and of silver, 2,410, and 1,000 other vessels. So all the vessels of gold and of silver, which were carried away, were 5,469. These were brought back to Sennabassar, together with them of the captivity from Babylon to Jerusalem.
Stop. Okay. So now what we're going to do is hold this and jump now to Ezra chapter 2, verse 1. And this is a long chapter. We're going to run this through chapter 2, verse 70. Okay. So Ezra chapter 2. No, before we go there, Salakia, we're not doing that. We're going to read Josephus real quick. We're going to go Josephus, book 11, chapter 1, paragraph 3. We're going to read paragraph 3 in its totality. Then we're going to go into this.
Paragraph 3.
Yes.
Antiquity of the Jews, book 11, chapter 1, and paragraph 3, page 286.
I'm ready.
It says, when Cyrus had said this to the Israelites, the rulers of the 2 tribes of Judah and Benjamin, with the Levites and priests, went in haste to Jerusalem. Yet did many of them stay at Babylon, as not willing to leave their possession.
That sounds familiar.
No.
So he says, even though Cyrus gave the authorization for everybody to go and serve the Lord with gladness and joyfulness of heart, you're going to read the majority didn't. Remember how I mentioned there had to be at least 1 million Jews all around the world. We're going to read in chapter 2 of Ezra. I'm going to say it now, and we're going to read it in specifics in chapter 2. Only less than 50,000 left, Doc. Less than 50,000 people went back to their homeland to sit back here and help reestablish the temple and re-inhabit the city and the land that was theirs. That's a shame. But that shows a lot about how our people think to this day.
Yeah.
When it comes to actually getting built, well, I'm going to say this. When it comes to building and putting the work in and getting your hands dirty, most people were to stay at their house and be comfortable. And that's the reality. Because at this time, most of the Jews had already given up on the idea of a temple. And what they started having? They started having synagogues at this time. Personal places of worship. Where it wasn't necessarily that you had to be of the Levite stock of priests. Because all those guys were gone. So if all those priests, the ones who actually were ordained to do the work, if they were gone, who's the ones running these synagogues?
Anybody who wanted to do it.
Anybody who wanted to do it.
Which is almost like a high place.
It was definitely a high place, and it was a power vacuum that was created once we got taken. Listen, it shows you the mentality of our people. When the Most High stings us for our wickedness and we lose, we find a way to make our fall an opportunity to sit back here and be comfortable and to come up on. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to sit back here and whatever places of worship that were instituted because of our fall, we're supposed to be let go so we can reestablish serving the Most High the right way. But it just goes into the heart of our people. Back in the time of Judges, there was also always high places where individuals could sit back here and pick and choose how they wanted to serve the Lord without having to be in order. What doesn't make sense is that the prophecy was for those good figs. Remember that good fig story and the bad fig story?
Yeah.
How the bad figs were supposed to be in Jerusalem and die by the hand of the Babylonians, but the good figs were supposed to be sent to Babylon because they were salvageable, and that those good figs that were in Babylon were supposed to come back because that was the request the Heavenly Father had.
He was preserving them.
He was preserving them. But you know, we took that preservation as an opportunity to be individuals, like we always do.
Like we always.
Like when a camp split.
Yep.
Then you got a fracturing of when New York split. You know, when One West split, you had everybody have an opportunity to create their own individual camps from coast to coast.
Yep.
No more was it a desire to come back and unify as one nation of people.
Yep.
Everybody got their own camps.
Yep.
Some retain Hebrew, some don't. Some become New Testament only. Some,
Yep.
Old Testament only. Some stick to what they feel like is important to them.
Well,
The Judah only camps.
Yeah.
Only Southern Kingdom camps.
Yeah.
Everything morphed into different things.
Yeah.
And this is an example of what's happening. What happened back then, what happened now. Everybody was supposed to sit back here and leave their habitations and come back to their home the way it was supposed to be. But you know what? It's that, and it's the fact that people were making their money in these countries. They had their jobs.
Life was good.
Life was comfortable. And they had found a way to adjust in their new surroundings. And Israel, what I know from Israel, from working with them for 20 years, Israel wants to be comfortable out. When you move Israel out of their comfort zone, they start losing it.
Yep.
AKA, when Israel got to live by faith, they start losing it. That's really what that means. Because all the Most High is saying is, come back to me, have faith, and I will take care of you. The circumstances are very similar to what was happening when we left Egypt. Not the threat of being killed by the Egyptians. Not that. But the fact that you had to go from your homeland to another homeland, to back to a place that was chosen for you, and you had to have faith that the Most High was going to be there for you in this new land. This is what a lot of people that come to the knowledge has to come to that agreement. When I come to serve the Lord, I got to leave my comfort zone and choose to go into a realm that I'm not comfortable with and that I don't have control of.
It's completely unfamiliar.
Don't forget, we had gotten 2 generations from the fall. And it only took 2 generations from the fall for us to say, no, I don't want to come back. Just 2 generations. Everybody out there in Babylon still had grandparents that had been there in Jerusalem.
It wasn't that far removed.
It wasn't that far removed. That's my point. But that new generation didn't want to sit back here and have to commit to rebuilding and going back to their homeland. That wasn't important to them.
We got a little taste of that when Katrina happened.
Mm-hmm.
The constant conversation we always heard. When I don't care what happened, I'm going back to New Orleans. I'm going back to my neighborhood. I'm going back to where I came from.
I wouldn't want to go back to New Orleans.
I'm just saying. But that was the constant
I'm
conversation.
sorry, whoever's been from New Orleans. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. You just imagine us get kicked out of Israel.
Yeah.
And that same spirit was present. Why not go back home?
I get it. Listen, that's one of the. Listen. Jerusalem's a holy place. I can't say the same for Cali Grove, I get them spots. I can't say the same for them spots, but I get your point. You get it, Hannah?
Mm-hmm. Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 13.
I don't know, Naga, how about going back? You gonna go back home, man? You said Jeremiah 2:13.
Watch the camera.
Camera?
All right. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 13. For my people have committed 2 evils.
He said, my people commit 2 evils. First, we reject the Most High, and we go into captivity to begin with, and we cause the Most High to have to put us in captivity because of rebellion. Then what else? Read on.
It says, for my people have committed 2 evils.
Read on.
They have forsaken me.
He said they forsake the Most High. So that's the first evil. But what's the second evil? Read on.
They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters.
He said they forsake the fountain of living water. That's the first evil. What's the second evil? Read on.
And hewed them out cisterns, broken cisterns.
He said then they cut out wells. Cistern is your own well.
Mm-hmm.
It says so. Then you go try to cut out and create your own well and create your own water versus tapping back into the living water. You go as an individual and try to cut out your own well of water. But the Most High call those personal wells of water what?
Broken cisterns.
He said, them wells of water don't work. They're not. That's not living water. That's just your individual water. You know what I'm saying? That's your isolated water. That's your own personal water. But that's not living water. He said that's the two evils our people create. First, we forsake the Most High. Then we go try to create our own water, our own source where we could feed from. Read on.
It says, and hew them out cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water.
They said they can't hold no water. It's not going to support you in the time of need. Although you may have tried to create your own comfort level, your own supply lines, but it's not going to be there for you in the time of need. Read on.
Verse 14. Is Israel a servant?
He said, are you forever want to be a servant? He's trying to restore us out of a servitude mentality and bring us back to Jerusalem so we can be an independent nation, not under the authority of some Gentile rulership, paganistic rulership. Read on.
Is he a homeborn slave? Is
that all you ever known? Do you want slavery for the rest of your life? Because individualism equals slavery. Every time we try to be individuals and branch off from the Most High, then he has to put us in slavery.
Because what we're saying is we rather serve man than the Most High.
Yeah.
That's what we're really saying. You're going to serve one way or the other. You're going to serve the Most High in Christ, or you're going to serve Mammon. Israel rather serve Mammon. They rather serve the money. They rather serve themselves, and they're okay with being a homeborn slave to what benefits them. Because our spiritual independence also means servitude in the flesh. We have to break our flesh and serve one another. Us staying back home, leave it, not want to go back home, just show we didn't want to serve our brothers and sisters. Because that's what would have taken to rebuild the country, to serve one another. We don't want to serve one another. We want to sit back here and take advantage of this guy, use this guy, out hustle this person, out scheme this person, and come up and make it.
Like it's a game.
We always call it the game. Jake calls it the game all day long. How do I got to come up? It's the game. We rather pursue our life and our advantages than come back home and serve one another so that everyone can come up. That doesn't interest us. We don't care about that. So these people got accustomed to living like Persians, Babylonians. Yeah. You know what they did? They bare minimalized it. Let me keep the Sabbath. Let me wear my fringes. Let me make my money. That's really what they did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear my fringes.
Strip it down.
I'm gonna go down to the synagogue on the Sabbath, read some scriptures, go home, and get comfortable in Persia. Get comfortable in Babylon. Versus going to Jerusalem and grinding. Because Jerusalem represented, I had to build my house up, and I had to make sure all these other folks got themselves established.
It's too much, huh?
You know, listen, it ain't like just the elites left, just the elites of Judea left, went back home. You know, all kind of people went back home. Now, say for instance, I might have had money and resources that I brought from Babylon or wherever I was stationed at. And I came back to Jerusalem. And I was able to build my house and get myself set up. What about the brother that's sleeping in tents in perpetuity? What am I going to do with him?
Hey,
I'm going to sit back here and be comfortable while he's living in a tent?
God bless the child that can have his own. This is what Jake said. Hey, I'm blessed.
What'd you say? God bless the child? What?
God
I've never heard that one. God bless the child
that got his own.
What? That's a real thing?
That's a real thing. God bless the child that got his own is a loose way of saying, hey, you got to get your own. You got to do your own thing. God bless you to get it on your own. I get that. You better go pull yourself by the bootstraps. You better get it on your own. You got to get out you live. You better get out the mud. I got mine. You got to get yours.
But see, we didn't want to deal with that guilt. That's what was going to. It was going to be hard ass work, pressure, and people going to be. Can I have some of that? Can I have some of that?
You gotta get yours, bro.
Can I give me?
I got it out the mud. I worked hard for this, bro.
Give me. Can I get some?
I worked hard for this.
And then you give them a little bit. Then they come back tomorrow. Can I get some more?
Oh my God.
Can I get some more? You know that's what it is. And when you make rebuilding, and they come back next week.
You always need some.
I hate to keep bugging you, brother.
You only come because you want some.
But did Christ say that? Did Christ say that? Did Christ sit back here and say, you only grab my shirt when you need some shit? Get out of here. Stop grabbing my shirt.
He could have said it.
Did Christ say that? Stop pulling my garments.
Yeah.
Why you always coming? I know you smiling because you're like 5 feet away. You're trying to get close to touch my garment again. I know what you're trying to do. Every time I'm in this city, you touching my garment.
We took my virtue.
No. Stay back.
Yeah.
You get my personal space. Get out of my personal space. He didn't say that. Going back to Jerusalem means everybody got to pool their resources again and be as one man. And that sounds great on paper. So that being as one man means you're losing a large portion of your personal wealth and a large portion of everything you got to sit back and sustain others that don't have. That's the one thing about serving God that eats at every single man. Reading these scriptures and this verse is all fine and dandy till you start losing. Then I don't understand. What's the Spirit telling me? I don't understand what the Spirit's telling me here.
Yeah.
This isn't making sense. I'm confused. The confusion is what serving the Most High is all about. It's making sure that you lose so that others can have. In perpetuity. Not just on some tax write-off when it benefits you. Like Esau does. Listen, Esau sits back here when you buy those boring-ass Tom shoes out. 20 cents goes to the little Hamite kids in Zimbabwe. That's all wired into a tax write-off, bro, to where they have a bottom line and they don't have to pay money on the back end for buying those whack-ass shoes. What am I trying to explain? That's not sincerely giving. Sincerely giving is when you have your resources and time and it's wired towards being advantageous for everyone. That's what Israel didn't want to give up on. They don't give their comforts. Obviously, these people made their money, had their property, had the advantages of citizenship now in these different countries, and they didn't want to give that up. I just want everybody to keep this in mind, because Cyrus said, everybody come back to your land, and he was providing stipends from your city. I will give you money to go back and help you out. I'm going to give you horses, calves, oxen.
You're looking at home.
I'm going to give you everything you need to situate you in your new place. I pass. No thank you. Well, why would you say no to that? You're getting help. Because Israel don't want to come out of themselves. They're selfish. We're a selfish people. So, let's continue into Josephus, bro.
God. Antiquity of the Jews, book 11, chapter 1, paragraph 3, line 9. It says, and when they were come thither, all the king's friends assisted them and brought in for the building of the temple some gold and some silver and some great many cattle and horses. So they performed their vows to the Most High and offered the sacrifices that had been accustomed of old times.
So they brought all these animals so they can be eventually sacrificed. Okay, read on.
I mean, this upon the rebuilding of their city and the revival of the ancient practices relating to their worship.
This isn't saying that this got done. This was the purpose of it getting done. Understand the process of building this temple again and rebuilding the city was a multi-year project. So they were just bringing the animals, some gold and silver to get the ball rolling. Okay, read on.
Line 10 says, Cyrus also sent back to them the vessels of the Most High, which King Nebuchadnezzar had pillaged out of the temple and carried to Babylon. So he committed these things to Mithridates, the treasurer, to be sent away with an order to give them to Sennacherib, that he might keep them till the temple was built, and when it was finished, he might deliver them to the priests and rulers of the multitude.
So what he's saying is, Sennacherib or Zerubbabel had to keep these items protected until Everything was set up for the priests to take these gold items and situate them back in the temple. Read on.
In order to their being restored to the temple, Cyrus also sent an epistle to the governors that were in Syria, the contents whereof here follows.
So listen, when it says Syria, it's talking about that region of the Levant. Later on, when the Persians are defeated by the Greeks, it's called like Seleucia. Now, Seleucia is that entire region, whether it's Tyre and Zidon, Syria, Philistia kind of got wiped out by now, Edom, even the people that had still stayed up in the northern kingdom, your Samaritans, they were there still. So all the residents of that area, Cyrus is giving a heads up to also concerning the Jewish or Hebrew transplants coming back from all these different regions back to their adopted lands. Read on.
King Cyrus to Sassines and Saphrazanes sendeth greeting. I have given leave to as many of the Jews that dwell in my country as please to return to their own country and to rebuild their city.
It's okay to go home.
Mm-hmm.
And to build the temple of the Most High at Jerusalem.
And if we're going to be about the Bible, the order was to come back to Jerusalem. That was the order, right? Read on.
On the same place where it was before. I have also sent my treasurers, Mithridates, and Zerubbabel.
Exactly. So once again, people say that Zanzibar is Zerubbabel, or Zanzibar is the uncle to Zerubbabel. One or the other. Read on.
The governor of the Jews, that they may lay the foundations of the temple, and may build it 60 cubits high, and of the same latitude, making 3 edifices of polished stones, and one of the wood of the country, and the same order extends to the altar.
It says that wood of the country was somewhat Tyre and Zidon. That's Zidonian, those are Zidonian trees. Okay, read on.
And the same order extends to the altar whereon they offer sacrifices to the Most High. I require also that the expenses for these things may be given out of my revenue.
He says, so once every province gives what they can to these people, I will sit back here and fork out the expenses out of my pocket to get this job done. All y'all got to do is send me a bill for what it is, and I'll shoot you the bread for it. Read on.
Moreover, I have also sent the vessels which King Nebuchadnezzar pillaged out of the temple, and had given them to Mithridates, the treasurer, and to Zerubbabel, the governor of the Jews, that they may have them carried to Jerusalem, and may restore them to the temple of the Most High. Now their number is as follows: 50 chargers of gold and 500 of silver, 40 clean cups of gold and 500 of silver, 50 basins of gold and 500 of silver, 30 vessels for pouring the drink offerings, and 300 of silver, 30 vials of gold and 2,400 of silver, with 1,000 other large vessels. I permit them to have the same honor which they were used to have from their forefathers, as also for their small cattle, and for wine and oil, 205,500
drachmas,
drachmas,
which is still that Greek currency. Read on.
And for it says
wheat flour,
20,500 ardabe. And I gave order that these expenses shall be given them out of the tributes due from Samaria.
So what they're saying is, okay, you Samaritans, the money you normally fund to me, think about this. The money and the expenses you normally send to me as your tribute to the kingdom, funnel them down to Jerusalem, your neighbors. Okay? Now this is going to be a very contentious aspect, because you're going to see how well the Samaritans take the fact that they have to help rebuild the Jews below them, their neighbors, help build them back up. So I want your items you give for me, give it to them. Read on.
Line 17. The priests shall also offer these sacrifices according to the law of Moses in Jerusalem, and they offered them. They shall pray to the Most High for the preservation of the king and of his family, that the kingdom of Persia may continue.
So then he says, when you guys get established and you start offering these offering on the altar, I want you to offer these animals and pray for Persia. Pray for us so that we can stay in power. Because the nations that were in the right mind understood that as long as the Most High is on the nation's side, they will always win.
You on top?
And listen, Cyrus understood this. This is why Cyrus was referred to as a righteous king. And all the kings of the nations that had this understanding, the Most High allowed them to have long and prosperous reigns. Whether it was Cyrus, whether it was eventually King Darius of the same Persian cloth, Darius I, whether it was, I always forget this guy's name from Rome, the second king. No, it's not Tiberius. It was not Caesar Augustus. It was Augustus. Caesar Augustus. He was the one that honored the Most High the most out of all those Romans, and he had the longest reign. Okay, Alexander had a respect towards the Most High. He had a powerful reign at the least. Okay, Ptolemy Philopator had a respect towards the Most High, and he had a powerful reign. I'm saying this so we understand that the Most High did work with these kings that respected him.
There's a correlation.
There's a correlation. So let's continue.
It says that the kingdom of Persia may continue. But my will is that those who disobey these injunctions and make them void shall be hung upon a cross.
So he's like, listen, I'm writing this letter to the Samaritans. If you don't listen to these instructions, you're going to be dead. You guys are going to get murked. Just know that. Okay? Read on.
And their substance brought into the king's treasury.
And that's what the kings
And
do.
you're losing your property.
And listen, but that means your kids are asked out too. I'm taking all of your assets, and they're going to be property of the state. Listen, that means your kids are going to be sitting back here in slavery too.
Bond slave.
You're going to be a bond slave. So that's the consequence for disobeying the king's order. Read on.
And such was the import of this epistle. Now the number of those that came out of captivity to Jerusalem were 42.
Listen how it was read. Listen how it was written. Now the number of those that came out of captivity to Jerusalem were what?
Were 42,462.
That was nothing, bro. That means the other 950,000 chose what?
Captivity.
They chose captivity out.
Oh, so slavery.
They chose captivity.
This is true.
Yeah, come on. Now. You're throwing Kanye quotes out here to us. But yeah,
He's
he said slavery was a choice, not me.
He was not going to say that.
But Israel did choose slavery. We chose captivity over sitting back here and rebuilding in our own country. And the majority of our people chose captivity. But that's us now.
That's true.
The majority of us choose because captivity is the easy way.
This is a good lesson right here.
Listen, it's the easy way. I'm going to sit back and live this comfortable life. Work under my boss. Punch my clock in. Go home. I got my time. I got my weekends. I can relax. Yeah, I don't like my boss, but I'm okay with it. I've learned how to work around it. Still do me. I love the Most High. Love the Most High. I don't eat no pork. I don't eat no pork. There's no pork in my house. There's no pork in my house. I'm checking labels. We're going to sit back here. There's some hidden meanings to some of these ingredients. We're going to check them. Yeah. There will be no pork. There's going to be no marshmallow, no gelatin, nothing in this house.
Yeah.
I'm going to be comfortable. But I'm going to be comfortable. And that's the truth. And that's what they did. They still chose captivity versus fighting to work together and serve each other.
So the lesson in this situation is Israel, I'm just reiterating, Israel would rather go the path of least resistance. As long as they can have their so-called ease
Comforts.
and comfort,
Yes.
but at the condition or exchange of being a servant.
And not sitting back here and exercising your spiritual, just exercising your spirit. Because going back to Jerusalem was hard work, and they knew it. And going back to Jerusalem was going to sit back here. You had to rebuild everything. Listen, you also got to deal with squatters. You don't think there was some squatters in your land?
The non-confrontational guy needs to
There's some squatters out. You know there was some dudes in your crib, You open the door like, who this is my crib,
Yeah, nice house.
Oh, dog, like they wait until 12 o'clock. Oh man, what's up, man? This is my house, this is my property. Oh, I've been here for 15 years, man. Think about that. Think about that. They're on your farm, They're on the McKenzie residence, the Johnson family residence, the Johnson family farm. They work in your crops. They took your shit. And you gotta go to your house and go battle with these rockheads, that took your land. Yeah. That's a part of it too. That ain't comfortable.
That's not fun.
But then you gotta go back and rebuild Jerusalem first. Then you gotta get yours and go to war with these squatters. But this is what the Lord said you have to do.
Never ending war.
Do you want to go there? Do you want to go to war to reclaim what was supposed to be you and your families, and what will please the Lord, or be at home and be at your apartment Be at your little crib, your little crib in Babylon
Shushan.
Yeah, Shushan. I'm in Shushan chilling. It's cool. I'm on the 5th floor in Shushan. I'm chilling.
Yep.
I can see all these guys. I see the guys in the water. I like it out here. It's cool. It's breezy.
It's pretty.
It's right off the water. It's right off the rivers. It's right off the river. Listen, you choose that, or you want to go to war and fight battles and kick negative people out and rebuild and do a hard-ass task of rebuilding a city, and you're really rebuilding a people. Because the truth is, that is what we're faced with coming to serve the Lord. You want to sit back here and teach people and recruit people and build people from scratch and deal with rockheadism and pride and selfishness and head cases? Or you just want to read the Bible at home and just sit back here and stay at your crib and read scripture and live your life and fade back? What do you want to do? This is the challenge that is presented to all of us. You want to sit back here and help rebuild your people? Or you want to stay in Babylon and just sit back and go to your synagogue, do your thing, go to class on once or twice a week, and live your life and be content? Is it wicked? No. Because not once did the Most High say it was wicked. Did he? But was there a lot more that people could have done to rebuild their people? To rebuild their city? Because rebuilding their city is really rebuilding your people.
That's true.
It's reestablishing something. Because the thing is this. The question is this. Are you going to give your life to something that's going to benefit the next couple of generations?
And that's you.
And that's my point. Or are you going to build something that just benefits you and your own? These are the questions that they had to ask themselves when this decree came in. Because whatever money-making endeavors they was making in their city, guess what they got to do? They got to shut down their business. And then you got to ask yourself, I got to shut down my business. What am I going to do when I get to Babylon? And does it matter? Does it matter what type of business I tap into when I get back to Babylon? I bet you a bunch it was for a lot of Jews. I got to change my career. What if they don't like oils in back in Jerusalem? I was selling some oils out here in Babylon, and I'm making money. What if I go back to Jerusalem and they don't want what I'm selling no more?
That was good over here.
I'm making money. I got to change my job, my career. I got to sell all of my possessions.
It's not my fault we got kicked out. That's the king's fault.
But you see the moral dilemmas that are hitting these people are the same moral dilemmas that hit us. When we're deciding how much we want to give to the Lord, how real do we want to make this God thing. And that's the real thing, huh? You want to sit back and really keep it real like Jeremiah said? Be out there for 70 years. He said, raise families, get comfortable there, and then when the 70 years, you're ready to come back up? You want to really make it about the Bible? Or do you want to say, well, I don't see it that way. I think we can just go here and serve the Lord here.
Oh, we'll be back. We'll be back eventually. We'll be back over here anyway. I got to be a part of this.
I got to be the one that helps to sit back and rip up with everything I got? Why do I got to be that guy? These are the things that when you read about bringing your people together and teaching your people and reviving the nation, these are the questions you have to ask yourself. Am I going to sit back and really be a part of rebuilding the nation? Or am I going to support from the far?
Yeah.
And then, depending on how you answer that question, you got to ask yourself, how happy and pleased is the Most High with you for taking the conservative path? How happy do you think the Most High was with those, whatever hundreds of thousands of people that chose to fall back? Do you think he was really happy with them? Do you think he was really pleased with their decision? Their decision was against prophecy. Their decision was against the order he gave us. But why did they go against order? Because the order wasn't going to be comfortable for their life.
There's enough people that went back.
For that 40,000 to be all right. The Lord will be with them 42,000.
Right. Let's see how they make it out first. And if they make it all right, then and they get on their feet,
then I'll come through. Because the funny thing is, what you're going to read is there were three waves of Jews that did that. There was one that really had faith that came from the bottom and built. Then there was two other waves that came back after. So that did happen. So do you think the Most High was happy with that third crew? When all the hard work was done and they come through, we're back! It's the Lord! We love the Lord so much!
Yeah.
Let us go to the temple. When you could have went to the temple damn 50 years ago?
I was thinking about it. I had to think.
Yeah. Now there's better jobs over there in Jerusalem. Now there's more stability in Jerusalem. Now let's go to Jerusalem. There's more stability. But all this does. Can y'all find the scripture where the harvest is plentiful?
The laborers are few.
Yeah, let's find that. Because that's really what this is.
Yeah, it's true. There is a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of harvest to reap.
Go to Matthew 9:37.
Matthew chapter 9 verse 37.
Let me get it real quick, Read that.
Matthew chapter 9 verse 37. That saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous.
Listen, there's a lot of people that need. Because the harvest listen, there's a lot of harvest. You got to work that harvest. You got to work that field.
Yeah.
Listen, read on.
It says, but the laborers are few.
Okay, listen. Do the laborers just show up at harvest time? There's a lot of rewards available. There's a lot of growth to be had. But who's going to go into a place where all you see is dirt that's untilled? Who's going to go to fallowed ground?
Nobody wants to do that.
Who wants to go to fallowed ground? Fallowed ground was that nasty, dirty, there's weeds, there's all kind of work. All you see is work, bro. It's work just to clear out the land. Then it's double work to sit back here. You got to clear the land out. Then you got to soften the land and get that hard dirt out. Then you got to seed it. Then you got to water it. Then you got to make sure rodents shit ain't there. You got to put your whole life in to get you to the harvest. So there's plenty of rewards out there. And that's why that concept, even with Israel right now, I know a lot of Israelites that value teaching, but don't value development. Israel loves to, you're a Jew? Shalom. You're an Israelite? That's so great. I'm going to show you some scriptures. Listen, you have a good day, brother. Sister, you have a scripture? Well, let me give you some individual counseling. He said, there you go. Brothers will sit back and individually counsel some sisters. They will do some individual counsels for that. But sitting back here and putting the work into a man and developing it from ground up, nah. You're sealed. A brother is sealed. A sister needs a lot of counseling, a lot of developing, a lot of patience, a lot of mercy. Where's your mercy, brother? You're not listening enough, brother. You're not listening enough. You have to listen more. That's how brothers roll for women. But brothers, I'm just dropping the knowledge on that brother. He got to sit back and pursue it. That's how brothers be rolling,
You can't make a man drink the water.
You can't make a horse go to water, brother. The water's here. That's how we operate all the time. The Most High said the flock of his pasture are who? Amen. So are you going to put that work into developing the fallow ground of your people so that you can see that eventual harvest? Listen, think about this. Think about this. Read that verse again.
Matthew chapter 9 and verse 37. That saith he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous.
The harvest is at the end of the planting cycle, right or wrong.
God.
So at the end, it's going to be glorious and plenteous.
That is the end of the thing.
But what about the beginning? Who's going to labor and build men up and put the work into toil and lose? Because listen, people work a whole year for that harvest. So you ain't getting shit until the end. But who's going to embrace doing all the hard work so that at the end you can celebrate the harvest with Christ? What's that?
It's that same thing with the fruits, huh? You're waiting for so damn long.
10
years. And you seeing it, you like, I want to see that reward right then and there the first couple of years. But you ain't going to see that enjoyment until that process is all the way fulfilled.
But you have to love the process, though.
Oh
my God! Right. You got to shelter the plant.
Yeah.
From the cold.
That's what I'm saying, though.
You got to make sure it's not. You got to prune it.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to love the work. You have to love the labor involved to get you to the reward. But Israel don't love the labor. So that's why they stayed at their crib. That's why Israel back then stayed at home and relaxed. Because who wants to do the hard work of developing? And then the crazy thing is, in this realm, every single generation of brother who stays, that's a 5 to 10 year process. And then after that, guess what happens in the next phase? It's another 5 to 10 year process, each set of families and people that come into this work. So you're constantly doing this labor process of developing and pruning and working from the beginning, from ground up. A lot of us don't like and accept that notion.
I'm always starting from scratch.
And the teacher is always starting from scratch. He's always rebuilding. He's always planting. He's always nurturing. How many people, how many laborers are committed to that sacrifice in true labor of love?
That's EO. Start from scratch.
I'm going to say this. For those who work EO, it's always zero, bro. Listen, you can ball out the day before. You can have a great Saturday at. Made $1,000. Guess what Sunday is at? You're at zero, and guess what? You're on the clock. You're on the clock. And you look up at 12 o'clock, it's 2 o'clock now, and you're at zero. And that pressure is on. You feel that like, you better hurry up. You're not fighting today? Oh, you did good yesterday. Huh? You want to lax up? You better fight today. Every day is a fight. Mm-hmm.
I got a question now. Wasn't Jeremiah, just for another example, as far as like a lot of work to be done, right? Wasn't the same situation where he told him, hey, look, you got to choose over here
When it's already set up, everything's already established.
Yeah,
or
we
let's
talked
go
about
back-
that.
That's what I'm saying. Or let's go back up over here where there's a lot of work. I noticed.
I'm going to say this. What you're saying is, me and Nagaha talked about this earlier, about Jeremiah had sacrificed 22 years begging the Jews to change. We didn't change. At the end of that 22-year process, he was in these pits, the mire, that was full of excrement and poop and filth. He damn near died. After that enduring scenario, he got put back in jail. The Babylonians captured him. They were informed of who he was. Don't forget, they roughed him up initially.
Yeah.
Then they realized, oh, this is Jeremiah the prophet. Listen, you know what? Let me bring him back to honor in Babylon. It's your choice. You want to go back to honor and live comfortably, or you want to stay with these Jews in their reconstruction? Jeremiah said, I'll stay in their reconstruction. Into a war-torn, destroyed
And
city.
he didn't have. He still got disrespected.
Well, that's my
He had
point.
respect.
After that, some guys came and raided the camp and brought him and put him in chains and made him a captive. He's a 65-year-old captive, right? You know, in the back of his head,
I already did this.
I already did this. What's the benefit of dealing with the sick? Because then they got rescued by some Jews. And then they said, listen, we will listen to what you say, Jeremiah, because you're the priestly godly man. Should we go to Egypt or should we stay here? And Jeremiah said, let me go ahead and consult with the Lord. I'll get back with you.
Wow.
Lord told me to stay. That ain't the spirit. We're going to Egypt. And you're coming with us, Jeremiah. So it's like, bam, bam, bam. Now you got to go down in your 60s to Egypt, or a place you never want to go in the first place.
Long walk.
You said you was going to stay in Jerusalem for your people. Now you're a captive because you're too old to sit back here and farm on your own. Now you got to follow these knuckleheads in Egypt. That's horrible. Or it's either horrible or it's he chose to serve the Lord wherever he went. And you know what? He had to sit back here and teach and counsel whether they listened or not. Can you sit back here? Can each and every one of y'all accept that you're going to teach and counsel and generate decades of your life to people that might choose to listen or might choose to say, F you, I'm going to do it my way? Can you accept that serving the Lord is just about being a physical representation of what the Most High was trying to get Israel to do? Of what Christ trying to get Israel to do? Christ trying to get Israel to change. Did the people follow Christ? No. Don't forget, when Christ died, at the end, how many people were left after Christ died? How many followers did Christ have right after he died? This is the humbling, this damn humble, bro. At the end, when Christ died, he had, I'm trying to think, it's in Acts 1. We're not going to go to the verse, I'm just trying to find what it said.
That was a small stuff.
Hell yeah, it was small.
Was it less than 15 or something?
No, I think it was, let me see. No, here it goes. It was 120.
Oh.
Verse 15. He had 120 followers, bro. That
All the
was it.
miracles?
Out of all the miracles, all the sacrifices, all the we had 120 people that said, I believe in this guy.
And taking a crucifixion.
So how many people were sitting back here and didn't agree? So on the outside, you would say, man, this guy died for nothing. He lived his life for a bunch of people that didn't appreciate him. And this is the path and the steps we're supposed to follow. Are you prepared to give your life to a bunch of people that aren't going to appreciate you and aren't going to respect you and aren't going to value the spiritual principles you've lived for? Most people say, no, I'm going to keep my bread, I'm going to keep my job, I'm going to keep my career, I'm going to stay in Babylon because I don't want to give my life to a bunch of people that don't appreciate me.
You gotta use wisdom, bro.
You got it, and that is the spirit of prudence versus understanding that what is Christ really about? Are you going to give your life up for your people or not? That's true humility.
Yep.
And most of our people don't want to live at that level. And it lets you know why there's going to be varying degrees of people in the kingdom. It's that simple. It ain't personal, because you can't say that everybody else that didn't make this move aren't making the kingdom either. You can't say that. So I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is, listen, there is a reward for people who give more. This is why when you read in Corinthians, it said there's gold work, there's silver work, there's precious metals work, there's wood, hay, and stubble. That lets you know that there's different varying degrees of what? Dedication. Yeah, it's nothing to do with the law. All of them follow the law. They're all following the law. But there's varying degrees of commitment and dedication to serving the Heavenly Father. And as we're reading, that intensified dedication to the Heavenly Father is predicated on what you're willing to give up. Because if you're going to look at the Bible for face value, when you first get the Bible, it's all a what? It's all a W, bro. You get the knowledge of scriptures of spirit. You get built up. But you get built up so that you can sit back and live for others. And that's where the loss comes in. So whether your work is gold, silver, listen, I'm going to say gold work is David, Jeremiah, Isaiah. Those dudes committed gold work. Their whole life was a sacrifice for the people. We didn't own that territory. Can we get to precious stones territory yet? Maybe some silver? And let's sit back here and look at, because once again, if we're going to gauge great men in the book, they gave more. They lost more. Giving and losing go hand in hand. Those are the greatest men in Christ's eyes. We're going to go into it on Monday. There was a reason that Christ symbolically walked into Jerusalem on a what? On a donkey. Why was that so important? A man with the greatest wisdom and the power of salvation on the whole earth walks to Jerusalem in a damn in a donkey, a low class animal, not on a horse or a stallion or a carriage. That was the point. The greatest man on earth was a nobody, and put himself in a position and was surrounding himself with none but sick people that couldn't do for themselves. That was the understanding of the life he wanted all of us to live. If we're going to follow Christ. But in our head, it's about coming up. It's about coming up and rising to a position and then giving back. But don't you understand, by rising up to this position, in order to really give back, you got to lose back everything you got to go back where they're at. Anyway, you got to give up what you got to get back and see them eye to eye. And serving the Most High, it starts knocking down your pride that way. To where you have to subject yourself to the sick on all levels if you're going to really connect. Because if anybody understands rehabilitation, you got to be around people all the time to really rehabilitate.
To see exactly when the glitch or trait or quirk of that person comes out. Because if you're just waiting around when they're good and they're sane, okay, cool, just waiting. I'm just going to have a talk. But when a person's glitching, now you can talk to that real issue and it's more apparent what you're dealing with. So that means you're wasting your life.
Yeah. But that's what serving the Lord is. You serve the Lord by serving the ones who need it the most.
The hard part is sometimes that part is easy. Sometimes it depends what kind of man you are.
It depends.
Sometimes giving your life to another man is easy, until they don't appreciate you. until they talk about you, until they start spreading gossip and bad information about you.
Oh, well. And then you understand what Christ is
there's like, man, I don't know. I try to be the good guy. I try to be the good Bible guy. Now it's like, do I really want to? How long can I do this? That's the question everybody has to ask after a certain period of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's what dying daily is about. When Paul said, in Christ I die daily, what does that mean? People, Israel ain't dying daily, living their jobs, making money, being comfortable. How you dying daily? You're just dying daily by your basic living scenario. All men die daily. What are you talking about?
Everybody getting old.
That's my point.
That's just getting old.
So that's not what Paul is saying. Paul is saying that you die daily by dealing with the sick. Because you keep losing. But while you're dying daily, you're also being renewed in your spirit. Because your counseling is getting better. Your spiritual works is getting better. Your clarity in the book is getting better.
That's facts.
Dealing with the sickness of Israel makes you a better leader, a better teacher, a better listener. So once again, like we talked about last week, and we read in Deuteronomy where it says that the people that were in the wilderness, they were being hungered, but they also ate manna every day. So were you hungry or were you eating manna? Which one was it? Am I dying daily and dealing with these sick Israelites? Or am I growing every day in my spirit dealing with the sick? It's all based on how you look at it. It's the same work. How am I looking at this same work? Do I look at it like my life is unfair and I'm losing? Or I'm sitting back here and being around the sick is giving me a chance to build my spiritual works in heaven? How do you look at your life?
Build my resume.
Once you make that trek to Jewtown, how do you want to build your life? How do you look at it? So we're just going over this 42,000 people that made a decision to lose so that the next generations can have. And that's what makes their decision and their commitment so potent. Does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to let all that go and go now to Ezra chapter 2, verse 1 through 70. It's about that time you want to have somebody else read. You can stay for longer, but I don't want to break up in the middle. I'm not gonna. Let's get this thing started.
Magaha, Shah Shabbatah, Ban Shemai Wan, Ban Yasha Allah.
Nagaha, Shah Shabbatah, Basamai One, Baya Shala, I mentioned. Yahweh Bashem Yasabakata.
Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Brak Thumb.
Oh man, back is tight. Wow. Okay, let's do Ezra chapter 2, verse 1.
The book of Ezra, chapter 2, and verse 1. Now these are the children of the province that went up out of the captivity of those which had been carried away, whom Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon had carried away unto Babylon, and came again unto Jerusalem and Judah, every one unto his city.
So now they're sitting back here, and they have a record of the people that are heading back from Babylon to Jerusalem. So having this record of these people and this registry, it works, and you need to have this registry so when they come back to their property, everything is legitimate based on the land rights that was promised to them from back in the time of Moses and Joshua. That makes sense? So they have to keep track of all these names so they know these ancestral lands, who do they belong to from the beginning.
Yeah, you got to identify your inheritance.
Exactly. So, Jerusalem was not necessarily an inheritance-based scenario. You can buy and sell in the city. But the lands and the property outside of Jerusalem goes back to the ancestral lands where you need that registry to connect it to. All right? So, let's continue. Verse 2.
Verse 2. Which came with Zerubbabel, Jeshua.
So, real quick. Zerubbabel, you don't read about Sheshbazzar anymore. After chapter 1, in the beginning parts of Josephus, you don't read about that man Sheshbazzar. That's why people think that Sheshbazzar is Zerubbabel. It could be that, or Sheshbazzar could have been older and gave over the reins to Zerubbabel so he can take over. Make sense? Let's continue.
Which came with Zerubbabel, Jeshua.
Stop. Jeshua was the first high priest that got reinstated into Jerusalem the second go around. And what is Jeshua in Hebrew? Jeshua is the same as saying Joshua, as saying Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
He who saves. So the first high priest name was he who saves.
It's amazing.
Just like, and he was the one that reinstituted the edicts and the principles of the temple to reinsert Israel back into their position of power spiritually, just like Christ sat back here and came back and reinstituted the spiritual building when he came back on earth. There's just little ties in with the wording, but Jeshua was Yahweh Shai, and he was the first high priest coming back when we got back into our power. Read on.
Nehemiah, Seraiah, Relaiah, Mordecai, Bilshan, Mispar, Bigvai, Rehum, Banah, the number of the men of the people of Israel, the children of Parosh, 2,172, the children of Shephatiah, 372, the children of Arah, 775, the children of Pahath Moab, of the children of Jeshua and Joab, 2,812.
So these are large families that have to be accounted for, man. This is a real sacrifice. You got to keep feeding and taking care of hundreds of your family members on this trek back. Okay, read on.
Verse 7. The children of Elam, 1,254. The children of Zatu, 945. The children of Zakai, 703 score. The children of Bani, 642.
This also lets you know that a lot of people didn't want to deal with this headache. They don't want to deal with this headache of all your family members and your cousins and your people, and I got to be responsible for all my blood. That's what listen. They had to be the heads of these families. Had to be responsible for aunties, nephews, cousins. All these people was on the head of the trust burden. Most people didn't want to do this, and this was just 42,000 people. You think Israel wanted to deal with the headaches of their families? And had the burden of having to feed and take care of these people and get them reestablished on their property? It just shows that a lot of people were selfish. Because this task was a monster. And as we continue in class, you're going to see how difficult and how many impediments that the nations use to get in the way of building in general. Let's continue.
The nations are counting on us not to be dysfunctional.
That and they were purposely trying to break the process. Let's continue.
Verse 11. The children of Babai, 623. The children of Asgad, 1,222. The children of Adonikam, 666. The children of Bigvai, 2,056. The children of Adim, 454. The children of Ater of Hezekiah, 98. The children of Bezai, 323. The children of Jorah, 112. The children of Hashum, 223. The children of Gabar, 95. The children of Bethlehem, 123. The men of Netophath, 56. The men of Anathoth, 128. The children of Asmaveth, 42. The children of Kirjath-Arim, Shifra, and Berah, 743. The children of Ramah and Gaba, 621. The men of Michmas, 122. The men of Bethel and Ai, 223. The children of Nebo, 52. The children of Magbish, 156. The children of the other Elam, 1,254. The children of Harim, 320. The children of Lod, Hadid, and Ono, 725. The children of Jericho, 345. The children of Sanaa, 3,630. The priests, the children of Jedaiah, of the house of Jeshua, 973. The children of Immer, 1,052. The children of Pasher, 1,247. The children of Harim, 1,017. The Levites, the children of Jeshua, and Kadmiel of the children of Hadaviah, 74. The singers, the children of Asaph, 128. The children of the porters, the children of Shalom, the children of Adar, the children of Talmon, the children of Akab, the children of Hattiah, the children of Shobai, in all 139. The Nethinims, the children of Ziha, the children of Hasupha, the children of Taboah, the children of Kedos, the children of Siaha, the children of Padon, the children of Lebanon, the children of Hagabah, the children of Akub, the children of Hagab, the children of Shalmai, the children of Hanan, the children of Gedel, the children of Gahar, the children of Rariah, the children of Rezin, the children of Nekoda, the children of Gazam, the children of Uzzah, the children of Pasia, the children of Basai, the children of Asna, the children of Mehanim, the children of Nephusim, the children of Bakbuk, the children of Hakupha, the children of Hahor, the children of Bazluk, the children of Mehada, the children of Harsha, the children of Barkos, the children of Sesera, the children of Thamah, the children of Neziah, the children of Hatapha, the children of Solomon's servants, the children of Sotai, the children of Sophath, the children of Peruda, the children of Jalah, the children of Darkam, the children of Gedel, the children of Shephatiah, the children of Hatum, the children of Pakareth, of Zeban, the children of Ami, all the Nethinims, and the children of Solomon's servants were 392.
I would imagine they're nations. Okay, let's continue. Those Solomon's servants, they definitely were nations. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Was the Solomon's servants, the children there, was that from these Solomon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, wow.
And also, don't forget, we couldn't have Israelite servants. Right?
Okay.
So the servants were definitely nations. So listen, Israelites can't have Israelite servants. But we can have nation servants.
Okay.
So, yeah. Now listen, if Israel got in debt, you can pay off your debt. But then after that debt was over, you go back to your land and your property. But you couldn't be in perpetuous servant with your own people, to your own people. Okay? So yeah, these servants were definitely nations. Let's continue.
Verse 59. Ezra, chapter 2, verse 59. And these were they which went up from Telema, Tel-Harsa, Chadud, Adon, and Immer. But they could not show their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel.
So now you had these people that lost their paperwork out. They lost the birth certificate out.
It's bad.
They lost their paperwork out. They didn't have the registry act. Listen, paperwork's important act. Paperwork is important. Yeah. Now there's some people that lost their paperwork, lost their ID.
They ain't got no ID.
They got no ID. They don't have no ID. They don't have no Social Security card.
No Social Security card. No birth certificates.
No birth certificate. They don't have nothing.
Man, forget that spirit.
Yeah.
It's a plague.
Yeah.
So these guys didn't have their paperwork right. There's always brothers that didn't have their paperwork right. They lost it out. It's something that's always an issue with the Jew land. It's just somewhere right here.
It was in the shoebox.
Yeah, but I can't.
It's in the sandal box. It's in the sandal box. Huh? Yeah. So.
Yeah, we had a brother that was serving the Jews for like 10 years in the camp. So we got paperwork. I'm out. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
You could have got that a long time ago, bro.
Brother.
I was like that.
So now, these guys lost paperwork. So let's keep going. Verse 59 again.
Verse 59. And these were they which went up from Telema, Tel-Harsa, Chadud, Adon, and Immer. But they could not show their father's house and their seed, whether they were of Israel. The children of Delaiah, the children of Tobiah, the children of Nekoda, 652. And of the children of the priests, the children of Hebaiah, the children of Koz, the children of Barzillai, which took a wife of the daughters of Barzillai, the Gileadite, and was called after their name. These sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy, but they were not found.
They didn't have their paperwork either. They didn't have their registry. Okay, they had claims that they were of the certain registry. They had claims. Yeah, my cousin was a Gilead. Those are people. Those are people.
Well, if you look at it, this is only 70 years in being in Persia. Imagine being in America. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Imagine being in America for 450 years.
Yep.
And that's 70 years they lost their paperwork. You don't even know who they are. Then that's like us trying to figure out who our great grandparents are. It's like in 400 years of slavery, we don't know who's who. We don't know who's who.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We really don't know. They didn't even keep record of certain slaves. They gave English names. This is John. Your name is John.
Yeah.
Your name is Paul. Toby. But you don't know who you belong to. You didn't know, and then you adopted the Edomite Caucasian last name or the Spanish last name. You didn't know who you were. Our people are so lost to this day. We're in the same boat now.
And you start seeing this erosion intensify even more the longer we're out in these different nations' provinces. This is why the Most High wanted us back into our homeland to circumvent this chaos. Because after a while, they start naming their names, Persian names and Babylonian names and Greek names and Roman names. We were supposed to sit back here and stay in our country to have a closer connection to our history. But once again, the correction of the Father turned into an excuse to just be out there in the world and be corrupted. So, let's continue in verse 62.
Come. Ezra 2 and 62. Then he sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy, but they were not found. Therefore were they, as polluted, put from the priesthood.
So you couldn't sit back here and even be a doorman or a porter amongst the priesthood if you couldn't verify your registry. Okay, read on.
Verse 63. And the Tershatha said unto them that they should not eat of the most holy things till there stood up a priest with Urim and with Thummim.
So he says, if we can't get your paperwork right, we got to use that Urim and Thummim to let the Most High tell us if you're legit or not. If the Most High gives you clarity and grants your position, then cool, you'll be okay. But until then, you can't even partake of any of the holy things. You got to be on the outside. But at least we had a Urim and a Thummim to give situations like this or people like this an opportunity to get rehabilitated or get the confusion settled. So when we get back settled, we get back into our temple and altar, then we'll sit back and iron out these issues that are amongst the Jews. Okay, let's continue.
And that Tershatha is a leader.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. It wasn't a person; it's a title of a governor or a leader. So when it says that Tershatha and the Tershatha, it wasn't a person. He's a governor over the people. He's a leader of the people.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's do it. And it was obviously over the priest. This guy was, because they didn't know what priestly matters at this point with the registry of the Levites. Let's get verse 64.
Verse 64. The whole congregation together was 42,303 score, beside their servants and their maids, of whom there were 7,337. And there were among them 200 singing men and singing women. Their horses were 736, their mules 245.
So once again, the total men that made the trek was 42,360. Josephus said it was close, so we'll stick with this. 42,360. And then there was women and children on top of that. But as far as the men, it was only 42,000. So let's continue.
Verse 67. Their camels, 435. Their asses, 6,720. And some of the chief of the fathers, when they came to the house of the Most High, which is at Jerusalem, offered freely for the house of the Most High to set it up in his place.
Mm-hmm.
They gave after their ability unto the treasurer of the work 61,000 drams of gold, and 5,000 pounds of silver, and 100 priests' garments.
So they sat back here. The ones who had money that made the trip, they gave to the priesthood. They gave to the rebuilding of the temple also. It wasn't just Cyrus and the people that were supporting the Jews leaving their province. Okay,
these individuals bought into the process of rebuilding the kingdom, rebuilding the temple. So when you got people that buy in, they're more willing to support and be a part of what's to come, versus those you got to twist their arm and try to hit them with scripture to justify why they feel like they should give. But when you look at these individuals sticking out, these individuals gave of their own ability, and they because they bought into the rebuilding process. A lot of people don't build. A lot of our people don't. They don't want to buy into the rebuilding process.
They'll wait and see if it works out.
Yeah, that's what our people do. Our people will wait and see. And the Most High got a name for this. Go to Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. Our people got. They want to hold off before, and they want to see you build it first. And if you build it, then it works. Then they'll try it. Read this
and what's it?
Isaiah 42, 42 and 22. And we read 22 and 23. Let me see. We're going to read 42, 22 through 25.
Okay.
Read that.
Isaiah chapter 42, verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
The Most High call our people what?
Robbed and spoiled.
He say our people are robbed and spoiled. And he's going to explain what that means. Read on.
They are all of them snared in holes.
He said a hole is a what? A hole is a prison cell. That's what a hole is. A hole is a prison cell. And like we was in captivity under the Babylonians for 70 years, Cyrus, by way of the Most High, being called the shepherd, the Most High shepherd, freed us up, gave us leeway, and paid us to leave. Read on.
And they are hid in prison houses.
So now, what do you call somebody that is spoiled? Meaning they're psychologically broken, they're mentally broken, where they have no more will, and they're subjugated to the cell that they're in. What do you call that in today's time?
Institutionalized.
You call it institutionalized.
Now hold on. I'm gonna let you finish. One say this one part. We're institutionalized, but at the time that this was written, were we not in our power? Were we in physical bondage? No, we were not. We were completely stable. We were still at the very least at the time of Manasseh. We were in our power, just fresh off of Hezekiah. So he's like, our people are operating like they're in an insane asylum, even though we're in power. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Go ahead.
And they are hid in prison houses.
That prison house mentality. Once you get broken, there's a YouTube video where Issachar brother was told to leave, and he told the CO, "I'm not leaving." He said, "Man, you did your 25 years." He said, "Go ahead and get out of here." He said, "I'm not leaving, man." He said, "Listen, if you don't get your stuff out of here, we're going to have to throw you out the prison. We got to kick you out the prison." He said, "My mother's died already. My father's sick and about to die." He said, "I don't have any home to go to, and I don't know how to live in the world." This is a crack brother that didn't want to leave prison. They had to kick him. They had to get his stuff and throw him out of prison. Not some people want to escape prison. This man was mentally, psychologically already broken. And when you're broken, you have no desire and no will or no want to even come out of your condition. You've already been institutionalized. Your desire has been broken, and you're just a subject of the occupying place, the occupying power. And this is what he's saying right here in Isaiah. That's the mentality of our people. Our people's will to see something good come out of change. He said these people are robbed and spoiled. They're broken already. They're mentally broken. Read on.
They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey.
He said, and when you're psychologically broken, then you're just subject to whatever your leaders tell you. And here it is that the Most High is trying to redeem us and get us out of these conditions. But we don't want to come out of these conditions. We want to stay collecting food stamps, welfare, Section 8. I don't want to ruffle no feathers. I don't want to disturb my regular check. He said, but you're a prey to them. So when they want to give you whatever they want to give you medically, or if they say, we're gonna cut Section 8, we're gonna cut housing, we're gonna cut stamps this year by 50%. You have no power over that. You have no control over that because you're being fed by the occupying force. He said they'll use you as a prey. Read on.
They are for a prey, and none delivered.
It said, and nobody's delivering. But when the Most High got Cyrus in the mind frame to deliver us out of captivity, Read on.
for a spoil.
It said, but our people are spoiled already. A lot of our people that didn't want to leave, they was already spoiled. They was already spoiled by the environment, the conditions, being taken care of. They were already comfortable. Read on.
And none saith, restore.
And they don't talk about what?
Restore.
Restore means restoration.
Yep. Rehabilitation.
Coming out of your conditions.
Mm-hmm.
He said nobody cares about restoration. The Most High is putting the spirit into Cyrus to restore us back to our power. But our people say what? Man, I don't want to go back. Why wouldn't you want to go back being in your power? Why wouldn't you want to go back being where you have control over your children's diet? You have the control over your children's religion. You have control over your children's welfare. You get to dictate the culture. But our people say, nah, I don't want to restore. No, I want to talk about restoration. I don't want to talk about going back to Jerusalem. Read on.
And none saith, restore.
This is when you try to convince our people that a lot of the church religious doctrine was given to us and handed to us by our oppressors.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to come out the Baptist religion. They don't want to come out the Catholic religion. They don't want to come out they're already spiritually broken.
Yep.
They don't want to come out of that. No, I've been doing Christmas for 75 years. I don't know. I don't know what to do December 25th. All I know is Christmas. All I know is giving gifts. That's all I know, because you're already broken. Read on.
Crazy.
Who among you will give ear to this?
And that's why the Most High said, who among you is going to listen that I'm actually trying to restore you? Who's paying attention to what I'm trying to do? Read on.
Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
He said, don't you see what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to take you, where I'm trying to place you for the time to come? What I'm trying to give you and offer you?
What I'm trying to have you build for the time to come. If you sit back here and just go back to your discipline, you can set something up for your children down the line. Somebody had to reestablish a standard and put the work in so that the system can run itself.
Yep.
But a lot of people don't want to put that work in, right? So that other generations can benefit. I'm sorry, keep going.
That mentality is you speaking Spanish to somebody that don't speak Spanish.
Yeah.
You speaking Chinese.
Yep.
They don't understand restoration. They don't understand being freed up from your enemy so you can have some type of control over your situation. Read on.
Who will hearken and hear for the time to come?
Read.
Who gave Jacob for a spoil?
He said, man, who the one that put you in this position to begin with? That's why the Most High said, I put you in captivity. Now I'm trying to restore you out of it, and you don't want to leave. You've been institutionalized.
Yeah.
You don't want to let go of your jobs. You don't want to let go of your security. You don't want to let go of your comfort zone.
You know why? Because it's more work that's got to be done.
It equals more work.
If you want freedom, you got to sit back and be more committed to the cause.
Yeah.
If you want spiritual freedom, there's still more work involved. People want easy way outs. They want easy outs. They want comfort. They don't want the work it takes to restore. Because restoration means commitment.
And this is the same spirit during the Reconstruction era in the States. When so-called 1865, everybody was liberated and freed up and got to be free.
1865, right?
1865, we were liberated, quote unquote, on paper, according to Esau, right? And we were able to go ahead and, venture out. A lot of us wanted to remain on the plantations. That's the only life we knew.
Yeah.
So we talk about, man, that could never happen again. It's always happening.
It's been happening.
It's always been this way.
That sharecropper mentality. We're gonna come back and borrow the master's tools,
Yep.
and then at a high interest rate, and then borrow the master's seeds. We already knew how to crop. We was already slaves. We already knew how to farm. We already knew agriculture. We were the one doing the planting for free.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't have the mind frame to be independent. That desire to be independent was already broken. Read on.
Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers?
He said, I'm the one that gave you to the nations to begin with. Now I'm trying to pull you out, and you don't want to leave. You don't want to come out of this because you're broken already. You're institutionalized already. Our people have been Americanized already. They've been westernized already. They've been Hellenized. If we was in a Greek culture, we've been Hellenized already. You've already been broken, and your desire to be free is no longer there. Read on.
Did not the Most High
He said, did not the Most High the one give you to the robbers to begin with? Now I'm trying to let you out and you want to stay in the prison cell. You don't want to leave. Read on.
He against whom we have sinned, for they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law.
Go ahead.
Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger.
And because you don't want to leave, the condition that the Most High is trying to take you from, that makes the Most High even that much more angry. Because you don't want to leave. He's trying to open up the prison cell by giving us this his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. By giving us this truth, we no longer have to be psychologically
Encapsulated.
destroyed and ruled by our oppressors. And it pisses the Most High off, because here's your opportunity to not be subjugated by false religion, false doctrine, incarceration, captivity, slavery, being Americanized. And here's your chance, and you want to stay in the prison cell.
And can I say something? Well, we want to talk about the white man for being wicked to the Jew. When given an opportunity for the Jew to be independent, what do? We should rather be up under the white man. When given the opportunity for independence, we chose serving the nations over reestablishing our spiritual government. All the almost 1 million people that stayed in their residences, that's us saying, I'd rather be up under the nations than serve the Most High and work with our people. That's really what we're saying. So the Most High sat back here and gave us what we wanted. We want to be ruled by the nations. As a whole, we'd rather be ruled by the nations.
Let's be honest.
If we're going to be honest, but we'll secretly complain. Well, you know what pacifies Jews? A bump in their stipend on income tax.
Yep.
That'll make them happy. We'll give you a couple $100 more per kid.
Yeah.
Then we're happy.
Like they're saying this year.
That's what we're getting. And then it says by 2025, you get a higher bump. Like, yes, Captain. Yes, boss. I sure am happy for that bump in money, Captain. Thanks, sir.
Democratic vote.
Yes, sir.
Say we cool.
I love some Biden. Biden gives me deals. Well, listen, but I'm saying a lot of people do. A lot of people do. We want to take the bum deal. We want to talk about the nations and how jacked up they are. They had the stones to assume leadership and responsibility over the entire world. Did we? We had the opportunity. We didn't take advantage of it. Remember what Solomon told us. We were supposed to sit back here and take this word and be that shining light to the entire world. We couldn't get past ourselves to even get to the point where we can run the world on this global span, on this large scale. We couldn't get past just being on top of our neighbors 30 minutes away to each side. Look at King Cyrus, right? Look how much land territory he was responsible for. We couldn't handle 25 minutes to each side of us. We was losing our mind on that responsibility. He's showing us about us and our temperament and our mindset. I'm sorry, I just want to bring it out. You're hitting it right on point. Yeah. We don't even have it in us to want to lead an entire world. As a nation.
Yep. Finish that, 25.
Verse 25. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle. And they had set him on fire round about.
And that's why the Most High said, because you want to be Americanized, then as the Most High starts to set this place on fire, you're going to get caught up in it. Because you didn't want to leave. And we know 2/3 of our people going to die during the time that Christ returned. A lot of our people ain't going to make it. Because they're going to be already broken mentally, psychologically, and their desire to be free and independent under the Most High's authority is no longer there.
Right.
Read on.
Yet he knew not.
It said, yep, you don't understand. Our people don't understand. Read on.
And it burned him.
And you know what? And being that Americanized, you don't like it when they bring in pink flowered grown men wearing polka dot stockings with dresses and high heels and lipstick in your children's school.
Don't like it.
You don't like it, but you won't leave though.
We'll just complain about it.
You won't like it, but you leave them in the school though, because you don't care about independence that much, even to the detriment of your children.
Because independence equals responsibility.
Yeah.
And Israel don't want to be responsible for nothing. We barely want to be responsible for our own homes, let alone for our nation. Look at what happened here. We don't want to be responsible for one another. That's what independence means. We got to be independent enough to be responsible for the large lot of Israelites who want to live right. We don't want that. We don't want that kind of pressure. Israel don't want that pressure. Israel wants to talk smack on the block and complain about the white man. But nobody wants to take the real responsibility of being responsible for the needs of other people.
Finish that.
And it burned him.
Yeah, and it burned you up when you got ain't no boys' bathroom no more. Ain't no girls' bathroom no more.
That's crazy.
It burned you up when you got grown men in there, in your girl's bathroom, your daughter's bathroom, dressed the part. Then it burn you up, but this is what you want though. But the Most High said what?
And it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
But you don't think about what the Most High is trying to do. Why is the Most High trying to wake us up in this last days? He's trying to give you freedom from being under the psychology or the institutionalization that you're just a subject to this greater empire. You don't belong to them. You belong to the Most High.
That's right.
But our people don't want the freedom the Most High is trying to hand us. That's why he said, man, they're robbed and spoiled. They're ruined. Because I'm opening the prison and they want to sit in the prison. I'm trying to first free your mind out of it. We don't have the money to just get up and leave, but we can free our minds though. We don't have to agree with the indoctrination that's going on, that's being pushed, the effeminization of young boys and men. We don't have to agree with that. But it's now about, you give them a choice. They have a voice. Let them, like Dwayne Wade kid.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Let them speak. Let the children speak. They got voices too.
Well, these damn rockhead kids are living off of damn TikTok.
Yep.
That's all they live off of, right? TikTok and peer pressure.
And when you look at the video that the Ishmaelite dude put out about TikTok being a Chinese-owned company, the algorithm in America just showed a bunch of people dancing. That's what they show. Those are the repeated videos.
And homosexuality.
Yeah, but when you look at the TikTok in China, it's educational. They doing math equations. They're doing math equations, and they're doing science reports, spelling bees, science reports. The algorithm is different. But we want what's being fed to us. We'd rather be fed by our enemies than be freed up by the Most High. And this is why the Most High said, man, they don't do what?
Yet he laid it not to heart.
They don't lay it to heart, man. Our people don't lay it to heart. They don't think about what the Most High is doing with this opportunity. This is a great opportunity, man. The truth is great. The truth is a wonderful opportunity to both free your children up from 400 years of conditioning. Because that's all it is. We've been conditioned. And we're being conditioned to this day. Boys are being conditioned. The young girls are being conditioned. Now the pop stars are the role models. Pop stars. Half-naked pop stars at that. Are the role models? That's who they put up in the image of the Super Bowl. When everybody watching the Super Bowl, then the halftime show come, then they got thugs and gangsters and tricks performing, and that's supposed to be the image put in front of your children.
At the heart of our people.
Yeah, I'm saying this is what you want your sons and daughters to grow up looking like.
Don't it? I mean, have you ever thought about the fact that the conditioning machine that's out here? It's almost as if we're so deep in as a people that there is no coming back from almost a choice without the e-commerce, the constant bombardment of different conditioning machines that come through your telephone and to our children over the TV, over the media.
I would say this: it would take some drastic measures, drastic situations to break our people from the spell that's been put on us, and that's being put on us, on a regular basis. We're being bombarded every direction.
Right.
TV, music, video, everything is being social media, being bombarded and poisoned at every angle.
Is that
So
dying every day?
no, that's not the dying every day.
That's
No,
something else.
no, we're being fooled every day. We're being bamboozled, tricked every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're being lied to every day.
Right.
Our children are looking up to half naked women. Whether it be Beyonce, whether it be Megan Thee Stallion, whether it be Rihanna. These women are the Kardashians.
But less than that now. I just saw a video of this new female rapper, this underground female rapper. And
Those are the worst.
listen, bro, they're the ones that
They got to be super
Li-
raunchy to
listen,
get to the
bro.
top, bro.
bro, I was walking the gas station a couple months ago, bro. There's a baby in the car, bro. And the mom's playing the worst song in the world.
Yeah.
It's like they're commanding them to be harlots. That's what the song's commanding them to be. And they're born this vibration, bro. So I 100% agree with Shama Shawan. We're getting bombarded from every level.
Yep.
And
And the truth is a great opportunity to separate ourselves from that.
And a couple months ago, me and Daryl was walking, and they was having a whole twerkathon with 7, 8-year-old babies.
True story.
And the moms right here rooting them on.
Clapping for
was
them.
this on the corner of the highway? They were just cheerleaders,
Right here
or
in this little parking lot.
It wasn't cheerleaders, bro.
Yeah,
They were not cheerleaders.
Not-
well, there
little
was
girls,
some. There
hands
was
on their
some.
knees.
They were playing Megan Thee Stallion.
This was
And they
off-
had little girls standing outside, and they were teaching them how to do it.
Well, this was off of Foster Road over there by HEB, and they had a whole group
In
of
front of
little
the church.
cheerleaders. I rode up to them. I said, "Hey, y'all all need to go home." And I told them, "Y'all ought to be ashamed of yourself." And I said, "Any of you little girls, call y'all's daddy and tell him to take you home." And I rode off.
He wrote them out. He wrote them
It was
out.
too bad. It was so bad. It was that bad.
That's
I had to say something.
Listen, I'm glad you said something. I said, let me go another way. I don't want to go in there, there's little girls dancing and provocatively. I'm sitting here like I'm talking. Like I said, I'm out, man. Their parents ain't gonna listen right now.
This is so
I need to get some
bad.
classes, put a class together against this act. It was bad.
Wow.
It was bad.
Yeah, it was
And it was right in the street. Like you can pass. If you want to drive by and just look, be that kind of person who just want to look at them. It's right there for you to see.
Right.
That's where that's the level of
Diminishing,
that we've
right?
diminished to. Because I 100% concur with Tashawan's point, bro.
And then the women, man, running it all. It's crazy.
They're like the ostrich.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got any more in your
That's it.
verse? Okay, so what we're gonna do is now go to Ezra chapter 3. Ezra chapter 3. And we're gonna read the entire chapter. And we're just gonna go into. And once again, I want to remind everybody that King Cyrus was in power from 550 BC to 530. Now keep this in mind. He was in power in his region from 550 to 530. He didn't get total control over the entire world until 538 BC. Now in 538 BC was when he made that decree or edict for the Jews to get restored to their places. So now that's the case. The process of the temple being restored is actually in session, but that process doesn't happen in days. This thing takes months, years for the people to get from one place all the way to the other, or for the edict to come out, financing to kick in, traveling from 40 to 50,000 people. Well, I would say it's 42,000 men with their women and families. That number has to get to the hundreds of thousands. So all those people migrating from multiple places to Jerusalem, this takes time. Okay? Now, with that being the case, also keep in mind that we have 8 years for this temple to get done before King Cyrus dies. So we're kind of on the clock.
No, it's Ezra that's in.
We're in the Bible right now. Ezra chapter 3.
But I'll still take it.
So now let's read chapter 3, verse 1.
The book of Ezra, chapter 3, verse 1. And when the 70th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities,
seventh month, right?
Excuse me.
So now we're in the 7th month. So this could be the 7th month since they got there, or it could have been this the 7th month a couple years down the line. It doesn't give the specifics. I'm going to just assume that by the time they got there, the 7th month of the year had come around. And then we know the 7th month of the year is high holy day season. And once you get past your Passover, you have your Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread, all that good stuff. The next major time when the gatherings happen is the 7th month. You have Memorial blowing the trumpets. You have
Day of Atonement.
Day of Atonement. Then you have the Feast of Tabernacles. That's all in the 7th month. Okay? So, read verse 1 again.
Ezra chapter 3, verse 1. And when the 7th month was come, and the children of Israel were in the cities, the people gathered themselves together as one man to Jerusalem.
So that means all the people that had originally made that trip, they came together as one unit and one body, and they came together to Jerusalem to start this high holy day season, the 7th month of the year. Read on.
Verse 2. Then stood up Jeshua, the son of Jozadak.
Now then set up Yahushai, he who saves, the son of Jozadak. Read on.
And his brethren, the priests, and Zerubbabel,
which was the prince or the governor of Judah. Read on.
the son of Shealtiel, and his brethren, and builded the altar of the Most High of Israel.
So what it's saying is, by the time they got to the 7th month, the altar was complete. The altar was complete. That was the only thing complete at that point that we got to high holy day season, was the altar being complete. The place where the actual sacrifices could be done. Read on.
And builded the altar of the power of Israel to offer burnt offerings thereon, as it is written in the law of Moses, the man of the Most High.
So this is not talking about the priest, the temple, the building, the structure. Just the altar was ready. So we were just showing you how slow this process is taking, that all they got done was the altar so far once they made this transition back home. Read on.
And they set the altar upon his bases, for fear was upon them because of the people of those countries.
So they said they put the altar upon his bases. But they also said fear was upon them because of the people of the countries. I mentioned briefly earlier, they just got back to their land, and guess what was happening? There was blowback, there was resistance from the neighboring countries that were used to them not being there.
No.
Now they're coming back into Jerusalem and coming back to their homelands, and you're seeing squatters, you're seeing families that got to get kicked out of their lands. You have a lot of angry ass people that had taken that land and that property and that farmland and those crops, and they started making that land theirs unofficially. So now there's a fear of the people around them for retaliation. So they have to be on standby that some of these families that got kicked out might not come with a larger force to contest the property that was taken or that was originally seized. So at this 7th month of the year, they came together as a unit, but there was literal fear and tension in the process of them coming back to the Lord, trying to serve the Lord. So read verse 3 again.
Verse 3. And they set the altar upon his bases, for fear was upon them because of the people of those countries.
So these countries, the Samaritans up north, you had people from the east had been taking some of this property. It doesn't go into the specifics of those countries, but we know that Esau said, raise to the foundation. Mm-hmm. They were spoiling a lot of Israelite towns back in that time. Esau was spoiling cities. Ammon Moab, they were spoiling our territory. So you don't know how many people or what type of nations were sitting on our property that we had to sit back here and forcibly run them out. So there was tension in this transition, which lets you know another reason why a lot of Jews don't want to sit back here and put the work into rebuilding. It's a lot of stress that comes from this process. Fighting, confrontation, stress, exhaustion, just to sit back here and reclaim what's rightfully yours. But what is the Most High doing? He is forcing us to reinvest back into Him.
To value what He's given us in the first place.
The Most High says He's a man of what?
War.
He's a man of war. He's a man of conflict. But why? That's the only thing that makes a man appreciate anything. When something is given to you in your hand, do you really give a shit about it?
No.
No. Listen, I remember when you was a kid and you got your first car, did you take care of it? Most cats, if you didn't have to pay for it, you didn't take care of it. You beat that damn car up. You didn't put no oil in it. You just ran this shit to the ground and said, why is there white smoke in the front of the car? I don't understand why there's white smoke. Daddy, there's white smoke in this car. It ain't driving no more. It ain't cutting on. Well, son, did you change the oil? Huh? Huh? You supposed to do that? I told you to change the oil. I thought I was supposed to drive forever. That's how we think when we don't appreciate things. This is how we be thinking. I changed it once. How long ago was it? I don't really know. I don't remember. Listen, I do it once. It must be good. The oil was real good when they put it in there.
Car sludge coming out.
Brother, later.
Yeah.
Why? What am I saying? Right now, when we come into this new land, now He's making us work to value the investment. Just because He said this is a blessing to come back to your land, but you got to fight for it. If you don't fight for it, you're never going to love it. So right now they're in fear because they're fighting for territory that's supposed to be theirs, but there's going to be resistance. So now I have to fight for it and trust that the Lord is going to sit back here and come through. Okay? So now the process is getting set for the Lord to defend us. But there is fear because these countries don't like the fact that we're coming back into the spot. Now there's opposition. Now how they ran their system for so long politically and land-wise and territory-wise is getting changed. Now we know King Cyrus sent the letter said, listen, if y'all don't comply, you're going to get hanged in the neck. But does that mean there ain't going to be beef? Just because King Cyrus way in the Susan Palace says you're going to die if you don't comply, don't mean people are going to sit back and take that lightly. There's going to be tension, there's going to be pressure, there's going to be stress. It's like you ever run into some thug dude on the corner rock, and you go out in this corner, there's going to be beef. He knows if the cops come get him, he going to jail. Does that stop that pressure that he got on you? That pressure's still going to be there. Because you got what he wants. Same concept. So let's continue. Verse 3 from the top.
Ezra 3:3. And they set the altar upon his bases, for fear was upon them because of the people of those countries. And they offered burnt offerings thereon unto the Most High, even burnt offerings morning and evening.
So remember, Cyrus gave them all of this stock of animals to work with. So they started the process of sacrificing, even though everything else was chaotic around it. There was no temple. The housing situation was a wreck. The city was in shambles. There was no walls, no protection. They were open and exposed to any renegade forces that could come in and take advantage of it.
But there's fear there too.
That's what it just said. It said for fear upon them because of the people of these countries. They were completely exposed altogether. But they still sat back here and acknowledged the Heavenly Father regardless. Read on.
Verse 4. They kept also the Feast of Tabernacles, as it is written, and offered the daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom, as the duty of every day required.
Can I get some Genesis chapter 8, read verse Read verse 20 through 22.
Genesis 8.
Verse 20 through 21 is good.
Okay. Oops.
Genesis chapter 8, verse 20. And Noah builded an altar unto the Most High.
What is the first thing that Noah did when he left the ark?
And Noah builded an altar unto the Most High.
What do you need? What is it showing that? What should your desire be when upon returning back to the Most High?
Thank you.
Yeah, but what do you do with the ark? The ark is for what? The ark is for sacrifices.
Yeah.
The ark is the purpose of the ark is to sacrifice the animals for atonement for sin, but also as a peace offering to the Most High.
Wasn't to multiply the world.
No, the altar itself, that you take the animal, you slay the animal, you burn, you take the entrails out, you put the bowl, the blood upon the basins and the bowls, and then you sprinkle the person that's sinning with the blood, and then also you burn a whole burnt offering as a peace offering to the Most High to appease the Most High. The Most High requires an offering from everybody.
No, I
But-
understand that. I thought you meant. I thought you said that the animals in the ark were for sacrifices,
Some of them were.
but it wasn't to multiply the world.
Two. There was two of every kind, right?
Yeah.
But it was seven. It was seven of the clean. So the clean animals there was seven of each of those. It was 7 pairs. So there were more animals than just 2 by 2. It wasn't just a male and female. Of the clean animals, it was 7 pairs. So he took those animals. The first thing he did when he came off that ark, the first thing he did was build an altar to sacrifice to who? To the Most High. That should be everybody's mentality when you're restoring yourself back to the Most High. Let me do some sacrifices. Even to this day, when you're trying to reestablish your relationship with the Most High, prepare yourself to do some sacrifices.
Yeah.
What sacrifices am I going to make to show the Most High that I'm agreeing to a change of life, to a new course of life? Because that's what Noah is about to embark on, a whole new way of life, versus the way it was before the Most High destroyed the earth. Read.
Genesis 8 and 20. And Noah builded an altar unto the Most High, and took of every clean beast.
See, he took not the unclean animals, but he took the what?
And took of every clean beast.
Go ahead.
And of every clean fowl.
And did what?
And offered burnt offerings on the altar.
See, that's the sign of a righteous man. Is when the first thing I'm gonna do is to create an altar so that I can get the Most High's presence with me. I can retain the Most High's presence with me. That's why the altar got to be first. Read on.
Verse 21. And the Most High smelled a sweet savor.
What does the Lord call that?
A sweet savor.
So that's what that altar does. That gives the Most High that smell is to those individuals that are sacrificing, putting their heart, giving their heart to the Most High. It represents a sweet savor, a satisfactory offering to the Most High. The Most High is appeased with that. He's pleased with that sacrifice, with us sacrificing. Read on.
And the Most High said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake.
When did that happen? When did Noah get a promise from the Most High? Before the altar was built or after?
After.
It was after the altar was built. Then the Most High took pleasure in his sacrifice, and then the Most High made Noah a promise. I'll never destroy the earth again. Read on.
For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living as I've done.
So he's just showing you how the Most High takes pleasure when that altar is erected for his name's sake, to retain the relationship between you and the Most High. And them sacrifices are given. All right? Let's go back to where we was at.
Okay. Read verse 3 again. No. Read verse 4.
Ezra chapter 3, verse 4. They kept also the Feast of Tabernacles, as it is written, and offered the daily burnt offerings by number, according to the custom, as the duty of every day required. And afterward offered the continual burnt offering, both of the new moons, and of all the set feasts of the Most High that were consecrated, and of every one that willingly offered a free will offering unto the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
From the first day of the 7th month began they to offer burnt offerings unto the Most High. But the foundation of the temple of the Most High was not yet laid.
So what they're saying at this point, the altar was made. They were offering sacrifices, but even the foundations weren't even laid for the temple. So maybe at best they did the temple, and they just got rid of all the trash and broken items around the temple. That's probably the best they did. Clean up and an altar in 7 months, in the 7th month process. Okay, let's continue.
Verse 7. They gave money also unto the masons and to the carpenters, and meat and drink and oil unto them of Zidon.
So listen, Cyrus had already sent them money to start this process of funding to pay for the wood that was necessary to get brought down. They had to get the cedars of Lebanon to get brought down to establish the foundations of the temple. Okay, read on.
Unto them of Zidon, and to them of Tyre, to bring cedar trees from Lebanon to the sea of Joppa.
So what they did is they were going to trade monies, oil, and drink for these trees. Read on.
According to the grant that they had of Cyrus, king of Persia.
There you go. And what they do with these trees, they put them on boats, they get them to Joppa, then they're carried from Joppa, or they're put in some type of transportation from Joppa to Jerusalem. Okay? Let's continue.
Verse 8. Now in the 2nd year of their coming unto the house of the Most High.
So now we're jumping down the line. They talk about that 7th month that they had this sacrifice according to the high holy days in the 7th month. Now it jumps an entire 2 years down the line. And it talks about in the 2nd year of their coming into the house of the Most High at Jerusalem. Read on.
In the 2nd month.
So 2nd year, 2nd month, we're now going into the next phase of construction. You see how this process is taking time. 7 months to clear out the Jerusalem, clean it up, start getting the Jews to get back into their homes, build an altar. Now we're year 2 in 2 months. Read on.
Began Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Jozadak, and the remnant of their brethren, the priests and the Levites, and all they that were come out of the captivity unto Jerusalem.
So when they said a remnant of their brethren, the priests, that means all the priests never left. Just a handful of priests left. A lot of them just stayed back too. Read on.
And appointed the Levites from 20 years old and upward to set forth the work of the house of the Most High. Then stood Jeshua with his sons and his brethren, Kadmiel, and his sons, the sons of Judah, together to set forward the workmen in the house of the Most High. The son of Henadad, with their sons and their brethren, the Levites. And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Most High, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets.
So listen, now what's happening is, by the time we get to that 2nd year, 2nd month, there was enough materials to actually get the foundation set up for the temple. Just the foundations, not the framing, not the walls, just the foundation. It took 2 damn years to get a foundation done. It lets you know a lot of times when you're sitting back here and serving the Most High, we want to sit back here and quickly build things. That ain't how the Most High works things. It takes time to build. The Most High teaches you all the lessons and aspects about yourself in the process of building. A lot of us want to jump from beginning to end, see we got things done. We might have aspirations to build quickly. The Most High purposely slows this process down. And most of the time it's funding. Most of the time it's paperwork. Most of the time it's laws changing. It's manpower. It's always something that gets in the way of the process of building. And we're going to read that, hell, we didn't even get a chance to complete anything during the time of Cyrus, which is the scary part. Cyrus is the one that wants it to get done. And we're going to read all the inner workings that even kept that from happening. So now, verse 10 again, if you can.
Verse 10. And when the builders laid the foundation of the temple of the Most High, they set the priests in their apparel with trumpets, and the Levites, the sons of Asaph, with cymbals, to praise the Most High, after the ordinance of David, king of Israel.
Now, the beautiful thing about this, and this is a lesson for us, every milestone that the Most High opens up for us, we should sit back here and praise His name.
Celebrate.
Every small step, every incremental step of growth, we should be appreciative that the Most High allowed it to open up. So they're just in the framing, not even the framing stage, the foundation stage, and there's a celebration. There is a acknowledgement of the Most High's power to even get the frame set, the foundation set, not frame, foundation set up. They bringing out the singers, and they're bringing a celebration in honor of the Heavenly Father. Now verse 11.
Verse 11. And they sang together by course in praising and giving thanks unto the Most High, because He is good, for His mercy endureth forever toward Israel. And all the people shouted with a great shout when they praised the Most High, because the foundation of the house of the Most High was laid.
But you see how you can see mercy, even though it takes time. The Most High was merciful on His people. And some trying to mention it earlier, it's better to have 43,000 people that are in the same mind frame
Facts.
than 500,000 people that don't agree.
Want to argue.
And want to argue and want to do it, see a different way and not lock in. This is why the Most High always, this is another example why the Most High builds with small numbers. Because you can't build with these large numbers of people that are oppositional against the direction you're trying to take, the growth of a body.
Especially when you're talking about resources that they committed out of their own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
See, when people commit resources out of their own pocket,
You can't tell them nothing.
They also want to dictate what you do with the resources.
Yep.
They also want to tell you what should be done.
Yeah.
Because they have a piece of the investment. They got skin in the game.
God not put my money. I paid
Yeah.
my like damn. Why are you acting like
Now I
that?
got an opinion.
Now I got an opinion. And
Acting
my
like you acted
opinion,
before.
yeah, but my opinion should matter now.
Yeah.
You were not acting like this 3 months ago.
Right.
I didn't put no money in it 3 months ago.
Yeah. Is that where a man's treasure is, his heart will be also.
Okay.
So your heart is only going to be where your treasure is at, what you value. But so some people now feel like, you know what? I feel like that, the school should be built a certain way.
Yeah.
If it ain't my way, then it ain't being built
I
right.
like red.
Yeah.
We're gonna make everything red like bud. We never did red.
Yeah.
Brother, that's how people are.
Yep.
And this is why the Most High keeps it with small numbers that are humble and are all mission focused.
Yep.
So now they're praising the Lord because now we're one step closer to refurbishing this.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
And it's the direct contrast of that mentality that's what I was going into about that prison mentality.
Mm-hmm.
This, I'm celebrating growth. That's complete opposite of a person that has that jail mindset.
You want to bring everybody down. You mean crabs in the barrel
Yeah,
type
crabs
deal?
in the barrel mentality that we have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm celebrating growth. Even though it takes forever to get one thing accomplished, I'm celebrating how much effort I gave the Most High.
Okay.
I'm celebrating the sacrifice I gave the Most High. I'm celebrating the fact that I get to reverence the Most High again.
Mm-hmm.
That matters.
Okay.
That's completely contrary to that crabs in the barrel, I'm locked in, the same routine, slave mindset we like.
Okay. So let's continue. Verse 12, I mean.
Verse 12. But many of the priests and Levites and chief of the fathers.
Stop now. Now we're talking about with all the praising and all the celebration of this foundation being established, the ancient men, the grandfathers, the men who saw this temple at its peak from the time of Solomon, not from the time of Solomon, but the original construction of Solomon, they're going to look at things and it's going to be a very humbling process for them. Read verse 12 again from the top.
Verse 12. But many of the priests and Levites and chief of the fathers, who were ancient men, that had seen the first house.
That seen Solomon's first structure. Read on.
When the foundation of this house was laid before their eyes, wept with a loud voice. And many shouted aloud for joy.
So you couldn't tell who was yelling and praising and who was crying. Because what the Most High shows you was when you lose your first estate, He can rebuild you, but it ain't going to be the same as the first. This is why it's so important that when you come to serve the Lord, not to backslide, huh? Because when you backslide, he can bring you back up. But are you going to be at the same potency as you once were before you turn your back on him? And it's symbolized in the temple. He said, this temple ain't going to be as potent as it was before. I ain't going to let that happen. It's going to be less. It's going to be a couple notches less in caliber. Because you spit on my name. You're going to have to work harder to sit back here and retain it back to what it once was. This is why it's so important to be conscious in your work and what you do for the Heavenly Father, not to be so cavalier about the work you do now. Because when you sit back here and start your work hard and you start backsliding, it's not easy to get back to that same level of zeal the second time around. Your outlook ain't the same. Your mind ain't as pure.
Confidence in it.
And that's why it's so serious and important to commit yourself to the work and keep that pure mind, and to keep that first estate. There was your first love in Revelation. How a lot of people don't keep their first love. Because most people, their love changes based on their conditions. Let me see. Let me go to that verse. Go to Revelations 2. Let's see. But I'm just trying to show when we lose that first love, our condition is diminished also. Revelations 2 and 2 through 4. Matter of fact, verse 5. Let me type that in. Revelation chapter 2, verse 2 through 5.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 2. I know thy works, and thy labor, and thy patience, and how thou canst not bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles, and are not, and hast found them liars, and hast borne, and hast patience, and for my name's sake hast labored, and hast not fainted. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love.
Listen, you don't want to lose your first love, your first passion, and that purity of mind in the good works you do. What this is letting you know is a person can do good works in labor, but their mind ain't pure anymore. A lot of us fall short in this arena. We'll go through the works of good works. We'll go through the process of doing good towards one another. But then our outlook in our work, our happiness and our enthusiasm in our work isn't the same. And Paul is, not Paul, but this is John is saying, listen, man, I see your good works, but your heart ain't into it like it used to be. Your enthusiasm isn't there. Your clarity and peace of mind in the good works you do ain't where it is. Read verse 5 again. Matter of fact, verse 4.
Verse 4. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first works.
The first works. Listen, when we first came in, we did everything with purity of mind. We did everything. We were able to fight to see the good in what we did, regardless of what we were going through. As you get older in this work, sometimes that gets harder. He says it's important to see the good in everything you put your hands to. That's your first love. Read on.
And do the first works, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent.
And the whole point is, if you don't repent, he's going to remove that candlestick. And there's another verse I'm trying to think that talks about how it's harder to come back after you've left. I'm just trying to think. This isn't the one necessarily, but there's a verse that talks about how it's just harder to come back once you've left the first time. And I'll find it another time. But the point is, is that once we lost our first estate, our first house, the second one wasn't going to be the same.
And then a candlestick also. When Christ said, you set a candle candle on a stick so it may give light to all that's in the house. That light that you're supposed to give light to all that's in the house. That means you're supposed to have influence over the people around you. So when the Most High said Christ said he'll remove that candlestick, that means he'll remove your influence, because your influence at that point becomes toxic. Because now you're not giving off inspiration, now you're giving off complaints. Now because you've lost your first love. So what happens when people lose their first love? They complain, they murmur, they dispute. Why do I got to do this? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't add up. We didn't look at the truth like that when we first came into truth. We first came into the truth. The truth was pure. What made the truth impure is my experiences in the truth, my losses in the truth, or misdirection by those that were in charge in the truth. So it damaged my perspective of the truth. Well, you're supposed to be able to go back to that original state when the truth was pure, prior to the fact that you had to lose things, prior to the fact that men may have abused leadership or power. So what? You still got to fall back in love with Christ and have an open mind to receive the scriptures just as pure as you did when you came in. But a lot of times, when the truth ain't, we're not so joyous about it, because the Most High said, my son, when thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So now you hit a little wall, you hit a couple walls and a couple hurdles in the truth. Now the truth is not so beautiful no more. Now I got to lose. And the Most High he said, your enemies be a day of your own house. Now there's war between me and my family members. Now my choices and my selection has to be Christ over everything. Now the truth is not so beautiful. Now the truth is like, it's a burden. Now it's a complaint. So the Most High said, well, you know what? He said, I'll remove your candlestick, meaning you won't have any influence in here. Because the Most High is not going to allow that toxic mentality to reign over those that are still looking at the truth pure. And a lot of times you've got people that will do that. People that are they're bitter. They're bitter at the truth.
Sour.
They're sour. They'll come in and try to contaminate those that are brand new. You gotta watch out for brothers. Don't trust the Bible. Don't trust everybody. Where are they speaking from? A bitter standpoint. Where are they coming from? You no longer had that first love. The truth was innocent in your eyes at first, because it was all game. You loved class, you loved the brothers, you loved what you were doing.
Yeah.
Sometime between that point to where you are now, you fell from grace, because you look at everything the Most High asked you to go through with a problem and an evil eye. Skepticism now. And now I'm supremely skeptical. Why you want me to do this, brother? Why you want me to do that, brother? Why you want me to work over here, brother? Why you trying to give me this advice, brother? Everything is skepticism now. So now the Most High said, okay, you're contaminated now, because you let too much darkness in, like Christ said in Matthew chapter 6. You let too much darkness. You know your whole body's not full of light. You got some darkness in there. So now he said, I'll remove that candlestick. He said, man, I'm gonna remove your influence. You're not gonna contaminate the new fruit. You're not gonna contaminate the new sheep that just coming in, because you've had a couple bad experiences from the truth, based upon the tribulation that comes with this knowledge. So that's why he said, I'll remove that candlestick.
So let's go back real quick. Ezra 3 and 13. I don't have the verse on top of my head. I'll find it or not. I don't know.
He said to restore them to repentance is almost impossible.
Well,
Hebrews.
You know, show me that one in 6. It's okay. We'll keep rolling because we got a whole chapter to go into anyway. So it'll hit me or not. I don't know, man. If the whole point was we turned our back on the Most High, and because of it, He didn't restore us to the level that we once were at. And that the reality of that is setting in to the ancient men that saw how the temple used to be. Now, for the individuals that didn't, it was a complete victory all the way. But for the ones who saw what it once was, and to see what it is now, it's like, man, this it's a good thing, but it's diminished. It's not the same. It ain't the same as what it used to be. And it's a reminder that we messed up. Why do we didn't have to lose it in the first place, man. I sit back here and drive by structures and buildings that we own even to this day and say, damn, why do we have to sit back here and lose that building? Why do we have to lose all that hard work we put into 1510 Guadalupe, 1508 Guadalupe. We didn't have to lose it. There was no need for us to lose that. And you sit back and you drive by it. You sit back and think of all the wasted time and resources that we had, where if we would have had them now, where would we be now? And you sit back and you say, man, we wasted a lot of damn time. To the point where you want to sit back here and weep about opportunities missed.
Yeah.
Because that's what these ancient men are sitting back here and thinking about. Why do we as a nation have to take 2 or 3 steps forward, and because of stupidity take 2 or 3 steps back?
Good question.
And then another generation comes and takes 2 steps forward, and then another generation is 3 steps back. That's literally what Kings was about. You had a king, a great king, reset things up, and immediately his son blew it up and changed it completely to wickedness. Then the other son came in and did it right. Then his son didn't serve the Most High. And like we're just spinning in wheels. We can never properly, with proper momentum, keep moving forward and seeing the growth of our work. It's always a rebuild. And it gets to the war in Israel, it's just rebuilds every year. Or rebuilds every 5 or 10 years. You can't get nowhere that way. With constant rebuilds. And this is what the Jews are seeing now. We got to rebuild from scratch. We had everything the way we needed it to. We had a temple, we had walls, we had a thriving city, and now we don't have nothing. And the reality of how far we've sank is what's making these ancient men cry out. And it's what makes us cry even to this day. Of doing this work for 20 plus years, it reminds you, hey bro, doing this work for 20 plus years, you have highs, you have lows, you're gonna build things up, then you're gonna lose it. You're gonna build things up, then you're gonna lose it because of Israel's selfishness and incompetency.
And
that's the reality.
And you still got to be just as enthusiastic as you were the first time when you were involved the first time.
Because it's the Lord's work, not of man's.
Right.
What that means is you're gonna suffer the wrath of man's folly, but your enthusiasm and man's mismanagement.
Yep.
But you have to sit back here and maintain your effort as if it's for the Lord, knowing that flawed men are in charge. That is the challenge that every generation had to face, even back in those days. So it's a reminder for us. Now let's go. Let's go to Ezra chapter 4, verse 1. Let me type this in real quick, sir. It's a damn shame, man.
And you know what it is? The Most High said every man's work should be tried by fire to reveal what sort it is.
Yeah.
And when it gets burnt down, then you see it wasn't as stable as it should have been.
But you still got to rebuild it.
You still got to rebuild it.
Yeah. You got to keep, as long as you live, you got to keep rebuilding.
You got to keep rebuilding.
Because it's a bunch of camp arsonists.
Yeah. Yeah. Arsonists. Yeah.
Pyromaniacs out here. Burn things up.
Yeah.
Well, or just people that just
the things that they never fix in themselves will come back and bite you in the butt later.
And that's the pyromania.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is what it is. You got it? You want more?
No, that's it.
Let's continue in Ezra 4.
Ezra chapter 4 verse 1. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin...
Well, now we just talked about it in verse 3 of Ezra 3, where there was fear of these other people from other countries. Now the adversaries are starting to see some traction in the temple. Okay, they're getting a foundation, they got an altar. Really don't like this. The people have already been sitting back here and causing havoc in the city and in the countryside. Now, let's continue. Read verse 1 again.
Verse 1. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Most High power of Israel.
The temple wasn't built. The foundation was built and the altar was built. But the process was moving forward. Now also at the same time, King Cyrus was in power. And he had a lot of objectives and wars and responsibilities northeast and northwest of him. So he wasn't focused on what was happening in Jewtown. He opened up the grant money. I don't know if y'all know about even grant money now. There'll be grants over for certain responsibilities, and sometimes that grant money isn't allocated the right way. Sometimes the grant money from the city is supposed to go for one thing, and it's done, but it's done very shoddily. You're going to see something similar happen in this situation here. So now these adversaries of the building of the temple, they end up approaching Zerubbabel, which was the governor of the Jews and the head of the construction process in the city. Give me verse 2.
Ezra 4 and 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, Let us build with you, for we seek your power, as ye do.
So now, specifically, these adversaries were your Samaritans. The Samaritans. Who are these Samaritans? Do y'all remember who the Samaritans were? Does anybody remember who the Samaritans were? Kareem? You shook your head like you remember them.
Yeah, they were the Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites.
No. Nope.
Back in the
Nope.
They're the ones that were like, when Israel's suffering, then they would come back.
Good one. You're close.
They would claim their identity when Israel is winning, but when Israel isn't winning, then they just did.
That was it. That was it. Yes.
They were taught by Northern Kingdom priests that went left.
Yes.
And
Yes.
they started claiming that they were Israel, but they weren't.
Yes. All those last two were correct. We're going to go into that scripturally just to re-familiarize everybody with it.
By blood, they weren't.
They were not Israelites by blood. Not at all. To be specific, Josephus says they were Persians. That's something to be conscious of too. They were Persian by origin. But which lets you know why a lot of those people in Gaza might be. Anyway, that's another story. So, read verse 2 again from the top.
Ezra chapter 4, verse 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers, and said unto them, Let us build with you, for we seek your power, as ye do.
This is them trying to get in and get positions and power in construction to sit back here and really throw a monkey wrench in what they're trying to establish. And they're claiming that we seek the Most High like y'all do. Read on.
And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither.
Now we're going to sit back and go to 2 Kings chapter 17, verses 23 to 29, to give us a recollection of what really happened back in those days, and what this just to get the clarification on how things went down. 2 Kings 17, verse 23 through 29. Read that if you can. Adam, let's read that. You won't keep reading it. I just want to keep switching it up a little bit. Let's get you slid in.
Adam Shaw Shabbatah, Banya Hawada, Banya Sharala.
Adam Shaw Shabbatah, Banya Hawada, Banya Shaw. I might you. Yahweh Shimon Shabbatah.
Yahweh Shimon Shabbatah.
All right. So let's do this in 2 Kings
2 Kings 17 and
23.
2 Kings 17 and 23. Until the Most High removed Israel out of his sight, as he had said by all his servants the prophets, so was Israel carried away out of their own land to Assyria unto this day.
So this is when the northern kingdom was taken from the northern country of Israel and sent to Assyria under King Shalmaneser. Okay? This is when it happened. Approximately 721 BC. Okay? Read on.
And the king of Assyria brought men from Babylon, and from Cutha, and from Ava, and from Hamath, and from Sepharvaim, and placed them in the cities of Samaria.
They say Cutha is in that region of the Persians. Okay? And they say the Kuthians were the ones who were the heads of this group. and they were Persians. But people from Babylon, Cutha, Ava, Hamath, and Sepharvaim. Now, back in those days, if I took one country from one location and sent them to my land, I'm taking another group to occupy this land so we don't have overflow in our jurisdictions. Does that make sense? Because I got to sit back here and put these people out here to our land to keep them humble and to sit back here and take them out ballots. If I got a country, a nation in a new land, they're less apt to rebel because they have to acclimate themselves to new settings, to a new environment. So that's going to keep you more humble than keeping you in your city and building your own resources back up and coming against us. So this was the thinking of the Assyrians and other kingdoms like that. Pull them out, bring some new people into this land. So there were different nations that were sent to the northern kingdom of the Samaria to occupy that territory. Let's continue.
And placed them in the cities of Samaria instead of the children of Israel.
So they were non-Israelites in Israel at 721 BC all the way to now, which is 530 something BC. Read on.
And they possessed Samaria and dwelt in the cities thereof. And so it was at the beginning of their dwelling there that they feared not the Most High.
They had no reverence at all of the Heavenly Father. Read on.
Therefore the Most High sent lions among them, which slew some of them.
Good.
Wherefore they spake to the king of Assyria, saying, The nations which thou hast removed and placed in the cities of Samaria know not the manner of the Most High of the land. Therefore he hath sent lions among them, and, behold, they slay them, because they know not the manner of the Most High of the land.
So there was like a ghost in the darkness scenario going on. These damn lions were going crazy and devouring man flesh. But let's keep going.
Then the king of Samaria commanded, saying...
The king of Assyria.
Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, Carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence.
So now, the king of Assyria is like, because they don't know the way of the Lord, let's send the priests that are captive, or at least one of them that's captive in Assyria, and bring him down to teach the people in Israel or Samaria how to serve the Lord. Right? There's one. Well, read on in verse 27.
And let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the Most High of the land.
Now that sounds good, that a priest of the northern kingdom should sit back here and teach them how to serve the Lord. But the problem is this. All the Levites were eradicated out of the northern kingdom during the time of Jeroboam. So what type of priest was it that was teaching these Samaritans, or their names eventually became Samaritans? At this point, they were Cuthites, Babylonians, Hamathians, Avites, and Sepharims. Who taught them the Bible? Who taught them the law? We're going to read that. Hold this. And Nagaha, let's go to 1 Kings chapter 12, verse 31 through 33.
1 Kings chapter 12, verse 31.
Let me get that real quick myself. This is happening right after Solomon dies, and the kingdom was split between Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Okay? Jeroboam was the king in the northern kingdom, and what he has to do now is separate and cut off the northern tribes from the south, from the southern tribes. And he's trying to separate them by creating a difference in religious beliefs. Okay? Read that.
1 Kings chapter 12, verse 31. And he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people.
So what he did, the first thing he did is, remember we read in Ezra chapter 3, verse 1, that the 7th month was when they had the gatherings. And the 7th month was the memorial blowing trumpets, Day of Atonement, Feast Tabernacles. The first thing Jeroboam did is says, you know what? We're going to celebrate these days on the 8th month.
Oh, yeah.
That was how he separated the connection from the north to the south. So the north stopped coming to the gatherings in Jerusalem because of the edicts that Jeroboam was establishing. The first one was, we're going to celebrate on the 8th month these gatherings so we can keep my power up north.
Yeah, you got to read 26 and 27 on that too.
The way he talks about it, right?
Yeah, where he talks about the real motivation behind it.
Yeah. So let's do verse 25. Let's just read the whole thing. I was trying to not do it, but let's do it. Read verse 25 down.
1 Kings chapter 12, verse 25. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence, and built Penuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, now shall the kingdom return to the house of David.
Because it was the time of the gatherings. And when everybody comes back together, they're going to sit back here and get past their beefs. Because now we're reading scriptures, and we all come together and say, man, we got to come back together and unify.
Because the first high holy day in the 7th month is memorial blowing of the trumpets. And that is a call for everybody to be united.
And let go of your gripes from the prior year.
Right. So that he knew that's what that high holy day was for. So he knew that the people was being called to summon themselves together and let go of their divisions.
Which means let go of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. Let's come back and unite as a people.
Yeah.
Up under Rehoboam. I can't have that. I can't lose my power and position. So I got to create something to avoid this issue. Read on.
Verse 27. If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Most High at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam, king of Judah, and they shall kill me, and go again to Rehoboam, king of Judah.
I don't want to lose my power.
He's gonna lose his life.
So he said, I got to keep my power and destroy the northern kingdom.
Damn, one man's fear of being killed caused all this division.
And losing power, though. He wanted that power, though.
Yeah.
So listen, let's read verse 28.
Verse 28. Whereupon the king took counsel, and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel.
So what was the first thing he did in this situation? He said he made 2 calves of gold and said these calves represents the Most High. He didn't sit back here and say that these calves were Ishtar or Marduk. He didn't sit back here and celebrate foreign gods when he introduced the calves. What did he say the calves were?
Representing the power of movement.
He said the calves were the Most High. So what law did he break? He broke the law of graven images. They were making graven images and saying that was the Most High. It wasn't necessarily idolatry. It was graven images. Now the negativity ramped up when Ahab got into power and they started following foreign deities, Zidonian gods. That's when we went to another level of wickedness. But at this point, it was these calves represent the Most High getting us out of Egypt and delivering us. And creating those graven images is the same thing that Aaron did. So all he did is the same thing Aaron did with the graven image and said, this is the Heavenly Father. So it's showing you a slow descent into wickedness and eventually idolatry. But it started with these images and making these images more than what it was supposed to. But it was slight deviations that turned into greater deviations. So the first thing is graven images, saying that these 2 calves of gold is it represents the Most High delivering us. I'm gonna put it at the northernmost part of Israel and the southernmost part, which is Bethel. The northernmost part was Dan, the southernmost part was Bethel, and wherever you are in between, find the closest direction and go and serve these idols, serve the graven image. Well, let's continue.
Whereupon the king took counsel, and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, it is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan.
The Bethel is the southernmost part of the northern kingdom. Dan is the northernmost part. Read on.
And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan.
Mm-hmm.
And he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people.
So now Jeroboam is making priests of the lowest of the people. What does he do with the Levites? Read on.
Which were not of the sons of Levi.
So he stopped making Levites priests. he cut them off from the Levitical priesthood and started putting low base men and teaching them another form of priesthood, another doctrine. Okay, read on.
I like what you're reading, because he's saying that he's doing it off the premise. He said that it's too much for you to, to go down to Bethel. So I'm gonna make it convenient for you.
Mm-hmm.
So off the premise that utilizing comfort, utilizing convenience, you don't want to go all the way to Jerusalem. That's too far for you. You can still serve the Most High right here in the comfort of your own home. And a lot of people still carry that notion today that I could still serve the Lord in the comfort of my own home.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to go out and do extra work and inconvenience myself to do more to serve the Lord. And I just want to bring one verse up on this. Go to Joshua chapter 8. Let me see. Judges chapter 18. Read verse 10.
Judges chapter 18, verse 10.
Read that.
When ye go, ye shall come into a people secure, and to a large land.
He said, that's the Most High telling us when we go, we're going to come into a place that's secure. Read.
And to a large land.
Read.
For the Most High have given it into your hands.
So he said, listen, I've already said you're going to get victory in this land. Read on.
Is Joshua or Judges?
Judges.
Okay.
Judges chapter 18, verse 10.
Got it.
Read.
For the Most High have given it into your hands.
He said the Most High, he's given you an opportunity to have your own kingdom, to have your own nation. Read on.
A place where there is no want of anything.
He says, you know what? This place is so plush, laid out. You don't have to want for nothing. Everything grows here. The animals are well preserved, well fed. Read on.
A place where there is no want of anything that is in the earth.
Go ahead.
And therewith from thence of the family of the Danites out of Zorah and out of
Read verse 9 now.
Verse 9.
So he's telling us the promise that we about to inherit, the type of land we about to get. Read on.
Verse 9. And they said, arise, that we may go up against them, for we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good.
But what? Read on.
And are ye still? Be not slothful.
He said, and are ye still? What does that mean? Why are you sitting there?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this opportunity that the Most High is presenting us, and you standing still.
Right.
Look at the quality of the land. Look at the quality of the fruits, the vegetables, the animals, the trees. Why are you sitting still? He says, he said, and you are still? Read that.
And are ye still? Be not slothful to go.
He said, be not what?
Be not slothful to go.
So what is he showing? That when the Most High gives you something great, you got to come out of your what? Slothfulness.
Yeah.
You got to come out of your idleness. You got to come out of your laziness. But people that don't want you to grow will always give you the option of the easy route.
Yeah.
Take the easy route. Take the path of least resistance. You can still serve the Lord and still do it at your pace.
Wow.
You can do it at your level, your rate. You don't have to work so hard. You can serve the Lord and still get blessed, but do it at your pace. Do it on your time. But anything that's worth fighting for requires work. It requires labor. It requires sacrifice. Anything that's worth it. So, but you'll know the quality of the counsel that you're getting when somebody's always pushing you to ease, pushing you to comfort. That but anything hard, anything that's worth it is going to be hard. But you got to know why is somebody telling you to take the easy route? Why is somebody that should be evidence right there? That's the wrong counsel.
Bro.
They're trying to get me to serve the Lord the easy way. The Most High don't give us nothing that's worth it without a fight. You got to fight for what's worth it. So this is Jeroboam is using a tactic that unfortunately a lot of people will use to this day. They'll be counseling for you to take the easy route. They'll be counseling for you to take the path of least resistance to get to the Most High in Christ. That ain't always the right counsel. You know what I'm saying? That's not the right counsel. Anything that's worth it, Christ said the saints shall take the kingdom. It got to be taken. You got to want it bad enough. But don't listen to counselors that's telling you slow down. You're doing too much. You're working too hard.
Yep.
You know, do you have to commit at that level? Why do you have to give it all up?
That's overboard.
That's overboard. Man, that's the wrong damn counsel.
Yeah,
man.
those are bad counsel.
Them people are keeping you sitting still.
From growing.
From growing. Just wanted to
And
bring
most
it
of the
out.
time they're projecting because they don't want to push themselves.
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point.
So let's get back real quick. 1 Kings 13 and 1 Kings 13 and 32. Matter of fact, 31 and 32.
Okay.
We'll just read to the end of the chapter. Yeah.
12, right?
1 Kings, 12. That was my fault. 1 Kings 12, verse 31 through 33.
First Kings chapter 12, verse 31. And he made an house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month.
So now we know he fired all the Levite priests and reestablished a new belief system that was flawed. And then now second thing is there's an 8th month of gathering versus the 7th month. They're changing so many things about the teaching. Let's continue.
And Jeroboam ordained a feast.
And this is before the white man. This before the Catholicism.
No doubt.
They structure and plan and create new doctrines.
Before the Nicene Council.
Yeah, the Nicene Council. Israel did it first.
We deviated first, right?
Yeah.
Always. Let's continue.
In the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places which he had made.
So we're knowing there's a deviation from the initial law that was initiated back when the time of Moses. Everything is deviated. Read on.
So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart.
Okay, so now we're going to jump real quick to 2 Chronicles chapter, everything has a purpose to it, to 11 and verse 10. 2 Chronicles chapter 11 and verse 10.
2 Chronicles chapter 11, verse 10.
So now that the Levites are jobless and that Jeroboam left all these Levites with nothing to do and they're creating an entirely new religion. Now let's jump to this verse.
2 Chronicles chapter 11, verse 10. And Zorah.
Nope. Maybe it's 1 Chronicles. Maybe I messed up. Because that's not it. Oh, no, it's not that. Give me a second. I think I messed up on this verse because the verse I'm looking for says that the Levites came down. I'm close. Maybe it's 10 and 11.
Oh, verse 14.
Of what?
Chapter 11.
Yes. It was the same chapter. Read verse 13 and 14. That's what it's 2 Chronicles 11 verse 13 and 14. I don't know where I got 10 from. I'm tripping.
2 Chronicles chapter 11, verse 13. And the priests and the Levites that were in all Israel resorted to him out of all their coasts.
Mm-hmm.
For the Levites.
So what's happening is the Levites are coming down to meet Rehoboam now. They're reuniting with the southern kingdom of Judah. They've left out all of their coasts. Read on.
For the Levites left their suburbs and their possessions.
The Levites left their northern kingdom suburbs, their northern kingdom possessions. All the Levites left. Read on.
And came to Judah and Jerusalem. For Jeroboam and his sons had cast them off from executing the priest's office.
So this was the initiating of the northern kingdom. The Levites were all kicked out. That's important. Why is it important? Because when you go back to 2 Kings chapter 17, let's go there real quick. 2 Kings chapter 17 says what? 17 and verse, let me see, 27.
2 Kings 17 and 27. The king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence.
Were they Levites? These weren't Levites. We're like, this Rehoboam thing happened right after Solomon. I mean, Jeroboam happened right after Solomon. So there was hundreds of years that had gone by. The split of the kingdom came in 933 BC. The fall of the northern kingdom was in 722 BC. So 200 years had passed of these false priests tapping into idolatry and getting further and further disconnected from the law. So now the Assyrian king is like, send one of the northern kingdom priests to teach these Kuthians and these Babylonians about the Bible and about the Lord. But this priest didn't learn the Most High the right way. They were serving the Most High the wrong way. So now let's read verse 27 again.
Then the king of Assyria commanded, saying, carry thither one of the priests whom ye brought from thence, and let them go and dwell there, and let him teach them the manner of the Most High of the land.
Read on.
Then one of the priests whom they had carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel, and taught them how they should fear the Most High.
Now, did they teach them the right way, or did they teach them the bare minimum way of who the Heavenly Father is? It was a bare minimum, bastardized version of what the scriptures were. But why did the Most High accept it? Because the Most High wasn't expecting perfection from the nations.
True.
Just have a reverence for him.
Wow. True.
So these nations didn't have to be perfect. Just have a fear of the Lord, and I won't destroy you.
And based off the last classes we've had,
All the last classes we've been explaining this.
no social distortion when it comes to the poor.
Come.
Don't oppress the people in
Come.
poverty.
That and this, and what they're saying is these lions left because they had a basic idea of what this Bible was now. But it wasn't the way, it didn't come from the Levite priests. That's my point. The Levites had left in the 900s.
Yeah.
We're in the 720s now. These were Gadite priests, Reubenite priests, Ephraimite priests.
I must.
Just put, no, I'm stop. I'm
Don't do it.
I'm Reuben. I'm Reuben. I can say that. Take maize.
This corn offering.
This is corn offering to the Lord. Love the invisible God. He gives you power. Listen, I'm Reuben, so I can say that. It's not being insensitive, y'all. All right. So it was still a tainted, bastardized version of what the scriptures was, but the nations had a basic understanding of the Lord. Let's continue.
Howbeit every nation made gods of their own.
But the problem is this. This is how you know. Listen, they still were serving idols.
Yeah.
The people living in that land still made their own gods on top of having a recognition and a consideration of the Heavenly Father. This is just like Rome did. This is just like the Persian King Cyrus. You think Cyrus didn't serve other gods too? Hell yeah, they did. They just had a consideration of the Heavenly Father also. And he winked at that level of understanding that the nations had. We were supposed to be exclusive to the Heavenly Father. The nation didn't know no better.
They can have a watered down version.
Exactly. You think about the Most High. We couldn't keep the Most High's ways. But the nation's supposed to? Come on, now. I'm not even realistic.
They weren't even supposed to go into the Holy of Holies anyway.
That's the point. So, these same Samaritans, read verse 29 again. No, verse 28.
28. Then one of the priests whom they had carried away.
No, I'm sorry. I messed up. Read verse 29.
29. Howbeit every nation made gods of their own, and put them in the houses of the high places which the Samaritans had made.
Now they're referred to as Samaritans. These Samaritans were worshiping idols, and they were taught how to fear the Lord also. They implemented their beliefs in idols with the bastardized teaching they were given. Read on.
Every nation in their cities wherein they dwelt.
Mm-hmm.
And the men of Babylon made Succoth Benoth, and the men of Cuth made Nergal, and the men of Hamath made Ashma.
Listen, they were serving Astarte. They were worshiping deities of the dead. They're worshiping all type of crazy idols. Read on.
And the Avatis made Nibaz, and Tartak, in the Sepharvites burnt their children in the fire to Abram-melech and Enam-melech,
It's still Molech. Read on.
the gods of Sepharvaim.
They were still doing all that and with the knowledge of the Heavenly Father. But these guys, these Samaritans want to say, hey, I just killed my baby yesterday. I want to work on this temple with y'all. Think about what they're saying.
No.
These Samaritans, they still threw their babies in this damn dog Molech damn deity 2 weeks ago. But they're coming to Zerubbabel saying, we want to build with y'all. But I worship Astarte on the side. So next week, I got this Astarte thing going on. Or the week after that, I got to deal with this, the god of the dead. Yeah. Think about how ass backwards that is.
I gotta.
Why would Zerubbabel sit back here and co-sign that decision? Yeah, you kind of know what this is, but then you dabble in wickedness, and I think the most I'm going to accept that connection.
Right.
That doesn't even make sense. What are you going to say?
No, I got a degree in, Molech, but I got a little minor in,
But there is Yahweh, and I do believe that there is a power there, and he does need a temple.
Yeah.
I want to be a part of it. That doesn't make sense. And you're bringing a lot of negative to a building that I'm trying to keep holy and pure. So I want to explain that's why we're here in this situation, and that's why Zerubbabel responds to them the way that he responds to them. So now let's go back to Ezra chapter 4, verse 2.
Ezra chapter 4, verse 2.
Matter of fact, before we do that, let's go to Josephus, because there's a point about this I think it's important. Josiah brought it out. You have a good record, a good recall, man, because we went over this a long time ago about these Samaritans. Maybe you heard it from Kawakab, maybe brought it out, but we haven't brought it out in a while.
Yeah, it was one you brought it.
Okay, then that was even longer. So, we're in book 9, chapter 14, paragraph 3. Talks about these Samaritans. It kind of gives a breakdown about these guys. Matter of fact, let me see. Do I do paragraph 1, 2? No, let's go to 3. I don't want to make it even longer than what it is because we're almost getting to that time. Read that, sir.
You said paragraph 3.
Oh.
Yeah, you got it. Adam.
But now the Kuthians, who removed into Samaria.
So we know these Kuthians. Remember, there was Babylonians, there was Kuthians, they were people from Ava and Seraphim. These Kuthians, read on.
For that is the name they have been called by to this time, because they were brought out of the country called Kutha.
So the Kuthians were changed. Their names were changed to the Samaritans.
And these Kutas are ancient Ethiopians.
Well, he says Persians.
Oh, okay. Because Kuta was in part of Ethiopia.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's keep going.
Which is a country of Persia.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a river of the same name in it.
So they're saying that river Kutha goes through Persia. There might be a different Kutha in Africa, but they says this Kutha came from the Persian region, and it will make sense because the Assyrians, that whole territory that the Assyrians and the Babylonians and the Persians and the Medes, that whole area, that whole contested area was in that region where those Persians might be. Okay? So, read that part again.
For that is the name they have been called by to this time, because they were brought out of the country called Kutha, which is a country of Persia, and there is a river of the same name in it. Each of them, according to their nations, which were in the number of 5.
There was 5 different groups that came to Samaria to relocate. Read on.
Brought their own gods into Samaria.
So once again, they had their own religions, and then they were taught the law, or at least a weakened version of it. Read on.
And by worshiping them, as was the custom of their own countries, they provoked the almighty power to be angry and displeased at them. For a plague seized upon them, by which they were destroyed. And when they found no cure for their miseries, they learned by the oracle that they ought to worship the Most High as the method for their deliverance. So they sent ambassadors to the king of Assyria and desired him to send them some of their priests of the Israelites, whom he had taken captive. And when he thereupon sent them, and the people were by them taught the laws and the holy worship of the Most High.
But once again, I'm going to say this was not from legitimate Levites. These were from non-legitimate dudes that were picking and choosing what they want to serve. So it was still a bastardized version of the law, but that's even better than nothing.
Enough to get them lions off of them.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. So that matters. Read on.
They worshipped him in a respectful manner.
Once again, it was a respectful manner, but it wasn't pure, full-blown belief because they still implemented their idols after this. Read on.
And the plague ceased immediately. And indeed, they continued to make use of the very same customs to this very time, and are called in the Hebrew tongue Cutlans, but in the Greek tongue Samaritans. So
they were referred to as Samaritans. Okay, read on.
And when they see the Jews in prosperity, they pretend that they are changed.
And there is a pattern that the Samaritans had, these Kuthians had, and it's when the Jews are on top, they want to be down with the Jews. They want to sit back and pull their Israelite card.
Yeah.
We're Hebrews too. We know the law. We know about the Heavenly Father. Let us come and build with you. When it benefits them, because when the Jews are on top, it benefits them. Read on.
And call them kinsmen.
Yeah, we're brother.
Yeah, brother.
This is why that Samaritan woman at the well, when she thought that Christ was just some regular damn Jew, she sat back and talked to him like he was a nobody.
And she said the Jews have no dealings with the Samaritans.
And then after Christ checked her, she said, "Our father Abraham, we're all together. There is unity here." When she got checked and realized this man had some wisdom to him, then the respect came. Then it was brother, we're blood,
family.
we're family. But when I thought you was just some scrub dude,
you told me to get some water. Give you some water.
Yeah, when I'm sitting back here saying, "Man, we don't even work together. What you talking about?
Yeah,
we ain't united." Until I realize I need something from you. Then it's about the spirit. It ties in exactly with what the description of these people, how they roll.
99% of your jewelers.
Yeah,
do the same thing.
You said jewelers?
Yeah, all your jewelers, all your flea market jewelry.
Hey, my friend.
My friend, brother.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got sell. We got
cousin.
Oh, yeah.
We got bling bling. We got bling bling.
That's awesome.
That was crazy, man. I'm at time for that.
Yeah.
I got
They'll give you some bogus jewelry.
Yeah.
But yes, let's continue.
And when they see
and then rappers come back and they get mad. You sold me some bullshit, man. And they show all the diamonds and fake and like that. Like,
yeah.
You didn't know the difference.
Man-made diamonds.
And why don't you go to a reputable store then, man? How about that?
They be ready to fight. Jake ready to fight them. Like jewelry stores. When they find out,
they go to a real
the
spot.
grill is like not real.
They go to a real spot. What do you expect at the flea market? That's what I don't understand.
Trying to spend $200.
You expect you want to spend large money at a flea market and expect not to get hustled?
Yeah.
Anyway,
by your enemy.
Yeah. Let's continue.
And when they see the Jews in prosperity, they pretend that they are changed and allied to them and call them kinsmen, as though they were derived from Joseph.
Exactly. They play that brother card. Read on.
And had by that means an original alliance with them. But when they see them, when they see them falling into a low condition.
So when Nebuchadnezzar and all those troops came down to the south to take out Zedekiah, King Zedekiah, and they besieged it, and they said, "Are y'all with the Jews?" No, I'm Kuthian. I'm Kuthian B.
Ain't no way.
Blah, 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 blah. You speaking all kind of weird-ass languages. Like, I am Kuthian. No, I am not. Exactly. I was transported from the great king of Assyria. I know nothing about these guys. That's what they're saying. Read on.
But when they see them falling into a low condition, they say they are no way related to
That's
them.
what I'm saying. Me no speak Hebrew.
Yeah.
Read on.
And that the Jews have no right to expect any kindness or marks of kindred from them.
Because if we was brothers, why didn't they come down and sit back here and fight with them? No. There's no fighting here. Read on.
But they declare that they are sojourners, that come from other countries. But of these, we shall have a more seasonable opportunity to discourse hereafter.
And he says the seasonable opportunity to discourse it is where we're at now in Ezra. Okay, so now let's go back to Ezra chapter 4, verse 2.
Ezra chapter 4, verse 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers and said unto them, Let us build with you.
We're with you now. Now we're speaking Hebrew. Now we know the Lord Father's name. and his laws and commandments. Read on.
For we seek your power, as ye do, and we do sacrifice unto him, since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur, which brought us up hither.
Okay.
But Zerubbabel and Jeshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, Ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power.
When you sit back and read it off rip without knowing the history, it kind of comes off like they're being rude. Because they're coming to help you. But on the outside it is. But if you know historically, there are two different people on two different sides of the damn in life. And there is no agreement because you guys are mixing idolatry and a tainted version of the law. And you're trying to bring that method and approach to trying to build things from scratch. This is why it's so important that you're careful who you build with in the first place. You just can't build with anybody with different sets of beliefs. You're not going to get nothing accomplished. How can two walk together unless they be what?
Agreed.
All the way agreed, not partially agreed. So they're like, listen, man, what you got going on is not what we got going on. And you guys, thanks, but no thanks. We got it. We're going to build our house of the Most High. We got our grant from King Cyrus. Everything's going to be okay. Good day, sir. Read on.
Yeah.
Ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, had commanded us.
So the Most High sat back here and got us with 42 strong, 1,000 strong. Then this would be enough to get it done. Thank you. We already got our application. It's cool. And they knew that. They got letters from Cyrus too saying, listen, assist them, pay some of your money to help them out. Don't forget that was Cyrus said in Josephus. Come out of your pocket.
Yeah.
The money you gonna send to me, send to them. You think they like that?
No.
They didn't like that. Listen, Cyrus said, take your bread and help build their zone up. Yes, sir.
So that's the point you were making earlier. Now that I put my money in it, now I got to say so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they want a part. They want a part of how it's done.
Yeah.
They want to sit back here and sprinkle their little BS ways in there. You know, no, give us that bread. Give us that oil. You get that pure oil.
Give me them tax dollars.
Give me them animals. And scram, bro. Beat it. So they don't like that.
Today, we pay taxes. Y'all don't pay taxes. I don't want my hard-earned tax dollars to go to somebody that don't want to work.
Good.
They want to sit at home and lay on his butt. You know what I'm saying? But
I understand.
they got to feel it. This is the Most High restoring us back to power. They got to give up their wealth, like you mentioned it earlier.
Give your wealth and build them up.
And build them up. We getting built up now.
And this is what they don't like.
Yeah.
They want to have a part in it. They want to get their piece of the pie in it. They want to get something out the deal. That's why they're trying to help. It ain't just pure help.
Because they're going to put their guy as a leader, or they're going to implant somebody from their particular nationality and insert them into the leadership, the position of leadership.
Like you said, if I'm gonna help you, I want something out the deal.
Yep.
I want some leverage. There's got to be a business deal in this. There's got to be something to where my people or my political scenarios can gain advantage to this. Just think about this: the money was already coming in. The edict came from Cyrus that you got to pay. So why you got to come and want to inject yourself in a building?
I don't need you. I need your money.
That's the point. The money that Cyrus told you to give to me.
Yeah.
But you want to get in there and politically gain an advantage somehow. And this is what they didn't like. Now let's read verse 4.
Verse 4. Then the people of the land.
Stop. The people of the land is all the enemies of the Jews. The Samaritans, the Edomites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Tyrians, Zidonians, the people of the land. Read on.
Weaken the hands of the people of Judah.
So they weakened the hands of the people of Judah. Once Zerubbabel and them said no thank you, now they're sitting back here and said, okay, you're not going to help us, then we're going to sit back and sabotage this work. We're going to sabotage. We're going to sabotage it as much as we can. We're going to slow down the process of building to make it damn near impossible to get where you need to get to set up and build this building up. What you're going to read is that they started bribing the governors of the district to sit back and slow construction down, to not have property or products sent down to Jerusalem at a timely manner. You're still, listen, the Jews were still in need of the governors of the district to make sure the supplies came in, right?
Yep.
This is a bureaucracy. So it starts from Cyrus, but do you think Cyrus is taking the carriage down to send this property to the Jews? He's giving orders. He's giving out authority and responsibility to other people. People that are subject to what? Bribes. So if the Samaritans
Jesse Jackson
and the people that are in Samaria are giving money to the governors of these districts to, hey, lose that shipment of wood, lose that shipment of stone, don't bring it down, keep it locked in storage, don't have it come down. Here is X amount of pieces of gold to forget about that shipment.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but after Trump left office, Biden came in and slowed down all.
He stopped everything.
There was thousands of cargo shipping containers that was ported off the coast of California that couldn't come in. Thousands of damn shipping containers, slowing down. The automobile industry slowed down. The computer chip industry slowed down. They couldn't make enough automobiles. They couldn't bring enough computer chips in. Manufacturing slowed down. Gas prices shot up. So immediately as he came in office, first thing you look at was an economic downturn of all the shipping that was stalemated off the coast of California. They just couldn't bring them in the harbor. It was like, no, it's a bottleneck going on in the shipping harbors. They couldn't just reroute them or just unload them. No, but all that was intentional because there was an economic boom when Trump was in office, and then now everybody now has to be hand fed. Everybody's being hand fed with stimulus checks, and waiting on stimulus checks and stipends, and waiting on PPP loans to go through.
Yep.
Then our people get caught up in the damn PPP loan process.
Yep.
Then after 2 years, they gave it to you. Now they want their money back with interest. It was a loan. It wasn't a grant. It was just a loan. But when you look at people being in position, they have the power to influence commercial trade. They have the power to influence distribution, and they want their hand in it. And there's money to be made in it. But we don't need the other nation. That's like us needing Edomites to tell us how to teach the Bible. That's like us putting Edomites in here as officers. Imagine that. We don't need no Edomites in here as officers.
Shalom, brother.
Shalom, Akim.
We'll make sure your paperwork don't get lost.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
Let me stop.
Where is the license?
Yeah.
I will make sure your license, all licenses will be maintained. Taxes will be paid.
Your driver's license about to expire, brother.
Listen, I will give you guys reminders about organization.
Yeah.
Israel will need that. I tell you that much.
Oh my goodness.
But so what's happening? These Samaritans are starting to bribe these lower level officials because if the chain of command gets broken in any way, the end result doesn't get accomplished. And this is like, if you're going to sit back here, what the Samaritans are saying is, if you're going to box us out from making money with this temple being set up, then we're going to sit back here and we're going to use all our power and resources to block the temple getting built in the first place. And this is how Satan came in to the construction of the temple. You had your altar, you had your foundation set. Now the people of the land are weakening the hands of the people. Read verse 4. Huh?
Zechariah?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a whole other zone.
Okay.
Let's read verse 4.
Ezra chapter 4, verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
Because that happens. What you're going into, that happens later on when he's trying to rile them back up to fight once things were shut down. So read verse 4 again, Slaki.
Verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building.
So they made it hard to get the building done because you still needed Samaritan support. You needed Samaritan roads. You needed highways to get things shipped from point A to point B. You needed Samaritan logistics, Samaritan funds, relationships that the Samaritans already had with the governing body in that realm. They had better relationships with the people that ran that district than we did. So they used all of their political power to get in the way of the construction of the temple.
You need that Tyrian purple too.
Yeah, that Tyrannian purple. Ain't no Tyrannian purple. It's shut down.
Yes, no Tyrannian purple.
So they called in all their favors all around the region to shut down construction. Read verse 5.
Verse 5. And hired counselors against him.
That means governors and people in high positions. Political positions to slow down the process without word getting to who?
Sorry.
Because they had to sit back and do it in a way to where the governors had to get bribed. So if Cyrus asked about how construction was going, they could say what? Everything's on schedule. So if the Samaritans just would throw this monkey wrench in and word got to Cyrus, he would destroy the Samaritans. So they had to say, who do I need to bribe so that the word never gets any higher and everything's going okay in the Hebrews' land?
Right.
So that's what the hiring of counselors was. They bribed the right official, so while Cyrus is busy fighting and being in wars and conquests, he don't get the bad news that the temple ain't getting done.
Right.
Read on.
And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose all the days of Cyrus, king of Persia, even until the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
So listen, they hired counselors.
And that's like city officials saying, we're not going to authorize the building permit. We're not going to give you the building permit to put that building and that structure right here. Because that's how they can frustrate your purpose. You don't have your paperwork. That's how every kingdom can frustrate what you're doing. You don't have legal right to go through that. That property is personal property. You can't transverse across that personal property to get your merchandise here. You got to go around the mountain. You got to go around the mountain. You can't cross that over here because that don't belong to you. It's no different than when you're trying to build now today. There's always some type of red tape that you got to go through in order to get something done. You know, you got to get the city to sign off on it. Well, this guy don't answer the phone. This guy, you got to send him an email. There is no phone.
Yep.
There's emails only. Then you got to write emails to him and sign emails to get this process done. And you have to wait for him to respond. Or the city meeting is only once a month.
Yep.
So now you got to wait once a month to have the meeting so he can disclose where you can build at. All these things are red tape. Imagine how you go to court. When you got to go to court, you got to answer for a judge. You got to go through all types of loops. Do you have a lawyer?
Yeah.
I just can't see the judge? No, you can't just go talk to the judge.
No, you cannot, sir.
Go get a lawyer, then you can come back to the judge. And we only have court open on these days. All kind of red tape, man.
So listen, it tells you that, like we read earlier, 538 BC was when Cyrus was in control of the whole world. He authorized construction then, and everybody coming back. 2 years later is when we were able to sit back and do what? Put our altar together, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. 7 months was the altar. 2 years was for the foundation. So that means that's around 536. Cyrus dies at 530. So it's 6 years of not getting anything done based on political red tape. 6 years of political red tape. And then this verse says that the purpose was frustrated until King Darius of Persia. And when you read the scriptures, it's the second year of King Darius. So think about 6 years of Cyrus. Then it's 7 years of the next king. Then it's 2 more years of Darius. So that's 6, 7, which is 13. And in 2 years of Darius, 2 years, what's hard? 6 years of Cyrus. 7 years of King Cambyses II, which is the next guy. And then 2 years of Darius. What is that? That's 15 years of getting nothing done. 15 years of just a foundation being set up.
An altar up.
An altar and a foundation. And you got these Samaritans throwing monkey wrenches in the building process of the temple. First of all, they went to the governor to block it. Then when Cyrus died, they took it to another level. When Cyrus died, we're going to read that next week, that they went and got permission to shut down the entire assignment. So it was shut down for 9 years. It was shut down for 9 years, and it was political red tape for 6. So that lets you know sometimes when you're trying to do the right thing, there will be pitfalls and obstacles in front of you in the way of building. It was 15 years of red tape and problems and stress trying to get this temple built. So, I don't want to go into what was written. Let's go real quick to Josephus, book 11. And chapter 2, paragraph 1. Only a portion of it, because I don't want to go into the next part of what happens. We'll do that next week. Out of power. So it is Antiquities, book 11, chapter 2, paragraph 1.
Page 287.
You got the regular book right here, Adam.
It's all computers, man. It's all technology.
Page 287.
Yeah, read it.
Yeah, all right.
Paragraph 1. When the foundations of the temple were laid, and when the Jews were very zealous about the building it, the neighboring nations, and especially the Cuthians,
which were those Samaritans. Read on.
whom Shalmaneser, king of Assyria.
First of all, now we understand why there was so much beef between the Samaritans by the time we got to Christ. We have a lot more understanding why there was real, genuine hostilities towards those Samaritans. They made us wait 15 years to get the temple completed. But let's keep reading.
King of Assyria had brought out of Persia and Media and had planted in Samaria, when he carried the people of Israel captive, besought the governors and those that had the care of such affairs, that they would interrupt the Jews.
They went to the governors, and whoever had power to slow construction down, they went to those people. Read on.
That they would interrupt the Jews, both in the rebuilding of their city and in the building of their temple.
So it's messed up. They just didn't sit back and establish the political constraints on the temple. They weren't going to let Jerusalem build to any type of caliber for 15 years. So the city was in shambles for 15 years too, let alone the temple. So they were just going to be a bunch of farmers for 15 years, stifling all production possible. Read on.
Now, as these men were corrupted by them with money.
So these governors were being corrupted by the Samaritan money and bankrolls. They were bankrolling these governors so that they would turn a blind eye to construction. Read on.
They sold the Cuthians their interest for rendering this building a slow and careless work.
So then what would happen is they would take forever to bring product. Then it'd be shoddy work in construction. So you have to redo it again. That's how you slow plate it. It'll take forever the materials to come. Then it's shoddy work, shoddy effort by the construction company. Now you get to sit back and tear it down and rebuild it, which takes more months to get more supplies in. This is how they broke down that first 6-year phase of bad construction. Read on.
Rendering this building a slow and careless work. For Cyrus, who was busy about other wars, knew nothing of all this.
And that's why you had to pay the governors. So they will report to Cyrus that everything's good. He's focused on wars and maintaining his empire, while this temple and this city is not getting built. Read on.
And so it happened that when he had led his army against the Massagetech, he ended his life.
When it says he ended his life, it means he died. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go into this next part, but I do know his son is Cambyses. And what ends up happening is, we'll go into that next week. I'm not going to do it. But Cyrus dies in 530 BC. And the Samaritans were successful in halting and slowing down construction for 6 years at this point, not allowing the Jews to get anything done in the temple or in the city. So it was this big stalemate and fight to reestablish the city, reestablish the temple, and get the entire nation on their feet. These nations were fighting against us, like it does even to this day. Most High, once again, is not giving us anything easy. We have to fight for everything.
When you listen to the secret recordings of the FBI and Malcolm X in 1964, the FBI was trying to bribe Malcolm X to sell out. And he said, if you haven't heard it, go listen to it. But they was trying to get him to sell out. And they said, well, you know we have the power to make people disappear. So they even threatened him to kill him. You know what I'm saying? But he said, if you expected me to sell out, you got the wrong thing. You got the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what they do. They take you individually and ask, what's your price? What is your price? And if you don't buy into it, then
they're going to kill you.
They threaten to kill you.
Yeah.
Or take what's valuable. Kill your family. Take what's, they have a way of stifling development.
Yep.
Amongst your people. That's how you know your enemy is.
These are paying snitches and paying negative
informants. You got informants coming in, selling out. You know what I'm saying? Selling out who's doing what. But that's how you know that the enemy will try to destroy, divide and conquer whatever it is that you're trying to build. Especially amongst our people, the 12 tribes of Israel.
Bro, and this is nothing new.
Nope.
But once again, this is the process that the Most High had us go through to teach us how to wait and teach us to be patient, so the Most High will come through for us. This is another example of it. We'll go into more of it. The second phase of it. So where we're at now, they frustrated construction for 6 years. Now King Cyrus dies. Now King Cambyses II comes into power, and we're going to see how he treated the Jews once being put in the same position that his father was into. We'll go on to that next week. All right? So, Amajim, Uponya, Yirah Shalom.
Stand and face Jerusalem. You ain't getting no loans. No,
no loans approved, bro.
No loans, bro.
Sheesh. Speaking of which, I gotta talk to you about something like that. That's real. Okay. Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh Shai. Please listen to us right now. Send Mike Allah. And the righteous angels. To watch over. Bless. Heal. Protect. And make strong. The people of Yahshua. Also send unto us. Much wisdom. Much knowledge. Much understanding. Much patience. Much faith. Much brotherhood. And much love. Spiritual power. And forgive all of our sins. Yahweh Shai come quickly. For indeed is our hope. Always. And forever. Amen. Barak Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives to us the law.
Barak Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the light to see.
Barak Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the ram's horn to call the people.
Barak Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai. Shaman. Zayat. Lamashach. Yashua.
Blessed are you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
Psalms 92. It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord.
It is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord.
And to sing praise unto thy name.
And to sing praise unto thy name.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
To show forth thy loving kindness in the morning.
And thy faithfulness every night.
And thy faithfulness every night.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
Upon an instrument of 10 strings.
And upon the psaltery.
And upon the psaltery.
Upon the harp.
Upon the harp.
With the solemn sound.
With the solemn sound.
For thou Yahweh.
For thou Yahweh.
Has made me glad through thy word.
Has made me glad through thy word.
I will triumph.
I will triumph.
In the works of thy hands.
In the works of thy hands.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
How great are thy works.
How great are thy works.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
And thy thoughts are very deep.
A brutish man knoweth not.
A brutish man knoweth not.
Neither doth the fool understand this.
Neither doth the fool understand this.
When the wicked springeth the grass.
When the wicked springeth the grass.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
And when all the workers of iniquity do flourish.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
It is that they shall be destroyed forever.
But thou Yahweh.
But thou Yahweh.
Art most high forevermore.
Art most high forevermore.
For lo thy enemies.
For lo thine enemies.
O Yahweh.
O Yahweh.
For lo thy enemies.
For lo thine enemies.
Shall perish.
Shall perish.
All the workers of iniquity.
All the workers of iniquity.
Shall be scattered.
Shall be scattered.
But my horn shalt thou exalt.
But my horn shalt thou exalt.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
Like the horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
I shall be anointed with fresh oil.
Mine eye also shall see.
Mine eye also shall see.
My desire.
My desire.
On my enemies.
On mine enemies.
And my ears shall hear.
And my ears shall hear.
My desire.
My desire.
Of the wicked.
Of the wicked.
That rise up against me.
That rise up against me.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree.
He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon.
He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon.
Those that be planted in the house of the Lord.
Those that be planted in the house of the Lord.
Shall flourish in the courts of our power.
Shall flourish in the courts of our power.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall still bring forth fruit in old age.
They shall be fat and flourish.
They shall be fat and flourish.
To show that the Lord is upright.
To show that the Lord is upright.
He is my rock.
He is my rock.
And there is no one righteous in him.
And there is no one righteous in him.
By Shem Yahushua.
By Shem Yahushua.
Psalms 133. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hamahawa.
Hamahawa.
Laduan.
Laduan.
Hana.
Hana.
Ma. Tawah.
Tawah.
Wama. Nahayam. Shabbat. Akim. Gum. Yachad. Kashamad. Hatawah. Ayo. Harash. Yerad. Ayo. Hazaquan. Zakwan. Aharaz. Shayarad. Ayo. Payah. Manawathiwa. Katal. Karamwan. Shayarad. Ayo. Haruria. Zayawan. Kaya. Sham. Tazawah. Yahweh. Habaraka. Kayayim. Ay. Havalam. By Shem Yahushua.
Psalms 133 in English. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like the precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard, even Aaron's beard, that went down to the skirts of his garments, as the dew of Hermon, and as the dew that descended upon the mountains of Zion. For there the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Yahweh by Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh by Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Rachno. Rashwalit. Rabiah. Support. Turn. Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Rachno. Rashwalit. Rabiah. Support. Turn. Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. Rachno. Rashwalit. Rabiah. Support. Turn. Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Rachno, Rashwalit, Rabiah, support. Turn. Rock they help. Rock they help. Rock they help shot. Rock they help shot. Rock they help. Rock they help. Rock they help shot. Rock they help shot. Rock they help. Rock they help. Rock they help shot. Rock they help shot. Rock they help. Rock they help. Rock they help shot. Rock they help shot. All knowledge, all wisdom, all understanding, all patience, all mercy, all sacrifice, all love, all power from your house. All power from your house. All power from your house. Bashem, Yahushua, Wada, Yat, Man. Circle up.
Shooting out in the heavenly order. Yahweh, Barushai, Mokoisha Allah, Live Israel, Amajan. Barak.
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushua, Barakam.
Kumishal.
Kumishal.
But we talk to the faith sisters. Please stand. Shooting out in the daughters of God. Live Israel, Amajan. Barak.
Yahweh, Shema, Latam, Bashem, Yahushua.
Yes, what's up? Dismissed? Fall out. 20 off, tune in. See y'all on Monday. Shalom.